help with our work, we want to thank all of you.
Na labo ke abese bekukhulunyiwe nabo nangabo abaphuma la kwisifundazwe saseNatali nabaphuma kumasipala walana eBaqulusi siyabamukela nabo kakhulu ukuthi bakwazile ukuthi babe nathi namhlanje engathi ke inkosi yomusa ingaba nezingxoxo esizoba nazo namhlanje ukuthi lokho esikwenzayo kube impomelelo kakhulu ngiyabonga futhi sihlalo.
I would like to thank everyone, the ones from the province, from the municipality, and everyone who came today to support us. And thanks to the chairperson also for allowing me this opportunity. I'd like to thank just everyone who's present.
Thank you, Honorable Bridget.
Sibonge kakhulu.
Ntombizodwa Masango.
Sibonge kakhulu umhlonishwa uBridget Ntombizodwa Masango.
Singene ke emcimbini wethu namhlanje.
We'll start with our meeting that we came for today.
Sizawushesha kakhulu sawugijima ngeGautrain.
We will be in a hurry. We will be as if we are riding on a Gautrain.
Because fanele sicede masinya abantu bahambe bayolungiselela abantwana ekhaya balungiselele nomsebenzi tomorrow.
We will do that because people have to return home and go and prepare for the kids for their school uniform and prepare for tomorrow for going back to work.
Oh. Sechilo kama amalungu abekekile ukuthi size ngani la apha eKZN.
The honorable members have already mentioned why we are here in KZN today.
Abeka kahle ukuthi size ngeChildren's Amendment Bill.
They've mentioned that we came here for the Children's Amendment Bill.
Sithi ke zisihlomelo umthetho wabantwana.
We say it's the amendment bill for the kids and the children.
Sibonile ukuthi seninikeziwe amaphethana ukuthi acacise le amendment bill size ngayo namhlanje.
We have seen that they've given you pamphlets that you can read and know about this amendment bill that we are here for today.
Koko andizukunilibazisa ixesha lenu ndidakance okanye ndibeke i-Children's Amendment Bill ingantoni ndizawuthi qaphu nje points ezinoba zichatshazelwe ile amendment bill.
So I won't waste your time. I will just say it briefly and tell you what it's about, just briefly.
Eyokuqala nje pha kule mqulu uphetheyo ithetha ngokunakekela abantwana singabazali.
The first thing that it talks about the welfare or taking care of our children.
Whether ungumama or for ungutata, this time around iyagxila kakhulu kwindaba yakuthi baba nabo banelungelo lokuthi badlala indima enkulu ebantwaneni babo.
It talks about the taking care of kids as mothers. It also talks about fathers also, their role in also making sure that the kids are looked after.
Iphinda ke iqaphule kukuthwalwa kwabantwana, that is nokwandiswa ukendisa kwabo ngesinyanzelo ngamathuba amaninzi.
It also talks about kids who are forced into marriage.
And then iphinda ingene nakwizinto ezisihluphayo ekuhlaleni esizibiza inkuliso okanye ECDs ngokwalentetho esilungwini.
It also talks about the ECDs that we have in our communities.
Inayo ke into eyichaphazelayo esingayiqhelanga kakhulu esijwayelanga ngoba asikho used kuyo leyo ukuthi kubukwe ukuthi iregister ye-child protection ihamba ngendlela efanelekile na abantu babene nyathelo okanye babene isikhathi sokuthi bacheke ukuthi ziyalandeleka yini izinto abantu abaziripotile ezinqamene nabantwana.
It also talks about child register that talks about kids to follow up on the matters that are concerning the children.
Yeah, the Child Protection Register. Siyabonga ke.
It's the
Na-
Child Protection Register.
Yes. Iyakhuluma ke nange foster care orders.
It also talks about the foster care orders.
Isihlupha kakhulu leyo singumndeni nabantu bokuhlala ngoba
It borders us as the community and the families because
ngoba isikhathi esiningi sihlala nabantwana abashiwe ngabazali, sihlala nabantwana abangabantwana bo brother bethu, sihlala nabantwana bo sister bethu abasebashona.
because we stay with the kids of our brothers and sisters and other family members who their parents have passed away.
Sifune ke ukuthi soba applyela sowucela uncedo kuhulumeni ukuthi bafumane i-grant, child support grant.
And sometimes we want to go to the government to ask for child support care grant for them, so it will talk about that as well.
Maruthola ukuthi kukhona izinto esingazihambisi kahle nathi singabantu bokuhlala ezifana nokuthi siye ngeprocesses okanye ngamanqataba efanele siwalandele. Okunye sifumanisa ukuthi uhulumeni okanye department iyadileya ukukhupha le foster care grant yomntwana abe umntwana esafara mhlambi fanele esikolweni fanele edlile fanele enxibile zonke lezo zinto zisokolisayo singabantu abafuma bathatha abantwana.
It will also help us to understand which steps to take, because sometimes we happen to take the wrong steps and the department will delay. So it will help us to know which steps to take so that eventually we can get the foster care grants.
Sinayo ke nendaba yokuthi sivule ezi centers sizibiza ukuthi zi drop care centers or amakhaya i-orphanage esizivulayo. Mari lezi orphanage sithola ukuthi sithwala ubunzima bokuthi azifandeki kahle ngendlela efanele ukuthi zifandwe ngayo. Siyayithola lobu bunzima singabantu. Le amendment bill ke iyakuchaphazela lokho.
It will also talk about the drop-off care centers or orphanage, so it will help us to know which steps to take to open it in a correct way, because sometimes we have these places only to find out that we didn't take the right measures to open them.
Iyakhuluma ke nange adoption services.
It will talk about adoption services as well.
Esikhuthazayo siyikomiti, portfolio committee ukuthi abantu apha emakhaya mabayikhuthalele indaba yokuthi ba-adopte abantwana. Hayi a-adopte abantwana be-close family, friends or families. Kodwa ba-adopte abantwana baye kwezi centers besikhuluma ngazo before. Bayobuka ukuthi ngubani abantwana bahlezi la, babathathe, babavise kamnandi, bayobadlisa iChristmas, babakhuphe for ukuthi babe exposed kwi-outside environment.
It talks about adoption processes that one can do, just not to adopt the close family members only, but to even adopt the kids that you don't know. You can go to these centers and have a look at those kids and see if maybe you can adopt one of them and maybe take them out for Christmas, go and enjoy Christmas with them so that you know what to do.
Konke lokho ke kufanele kuvaye kwamasipala sometimes ngoba umasipala siyamazi ukuthi uyena responsible for infrastructure for ezi centers nezinkuliso sithetha ngazo in terms of ukusisiza. Kufanele sonke ozo zinto ke sihambisane kahle nomasipala ngazo.
All these are done via the municipality, so we have to follow certain processes. We have to work with the municipality to make sure that we do things in a correct way.
Leyo ke yi-role yakamasipalati. That's why benizwa sisithi umeya wendawo uzawube ekhona, sisazi ngokukahle ukuthi sibuya nje kwi-elections kwiveki ezimbini nezintathu ezidlulileyo or eyi-1. Mara sibona ke ukuthi akakafiki. Mayifikile maybe uzasijoyina la etafuleni, maybe akaphumeleli ngoba izinto ziningi kusekutsha kuyena.
That's why we thought the mayor will be here so that he can further explain to us some of the things, or maybe because we just came back from the election, he probably will come or she will come, and maybe he will come and join us there at the table when is he or she's present.
Akutsho ukuthi ma engekho izinto esizifilishayo kanye esibawela ukuthi esinqwenela ukuthi siziraise ngokuthi sifuna ukuncedwa kuzo asingeke sizibeke apha kwi-public koko thina sibona ukuthi sawuvela sizinote and then sizidlulisele kuyena mara namhlanje what I would like to emphasize nokuthi ndikugxile kukuthi sizele ibhili namhlanje.
That doesn't mean that when the mayor is not present, we shouldn't raise our concerns. You can raise your concern, but what I want to emphasize is that today we are here for this bill.
Sizawuthi ke siqhube ngolu hlobo.
This is how we're going to do things.
Uzoza ngaphambili maybe i-sector yakho kanye i-group yakho ikuphathisile izinto that you have to uzingeze apha e-meetingini ukuthi thina sizithathe because thina sizokusabela ukuthi niyahambisana nale bill or anihambisani nayo.
You will come in front to say your concern, or maybe you are from a sector, you've been sent by the sector to raise the concerns of your sector. You will come in front and we will listen to you, and you will tell us if you agree with the bill that we are here for today.
Introduce ke kuqala.
You will introduce yourself.
Wandule ke maso uqeda uthetha of mawuqala utsho ukuthi you support the bill or you reject the bill.
And then after that, you'll tell us if you support the bill or you reject the bill.
Kodwa ma ubona ukuthi there is something ofuna ukuthi uyibeke. Mara ayisindo that you should put it in the public. But ungahamba uye pha etafuleni ulamagosa aphaya indaba yakho uyibeke kuwona eqaleni bucala so that unga expose information kwi public obonayo ukuthi sensitive for ukuthi abantu bayizwe. So abantu even whilst siqhubekeka apha kwilentuka kwi podium okanye lapha kwi speaker abantu can just bachwechwe bahambe baye etafileni babeke izinto zabo amagosa ya nota. And if ufilish ukuthi your point has been said by speaker esingaphambili ngicela ukuthi singaphinda phindi bathu if bathethile ngenkuliso bathi ukuthi na izinto sivile ukuthi abantu abaningi ifunding ehluphayo engafiki ngesikhathi abantu hlala 3 months social development bengatholi imali zabo. And sicela ukuthi amagosa la aka social development ngoba ngawona azawuza ngaphambili aphendule some of other things ezizobe ziraiswa nini in front of us kwi public njengoba sikhona.
We will ask you also if you have a sensitive matter that if you don't want to say it in public, you just want to say it privately, you'll go to the members there on the side and say it to them. They'll write it down and will note it. And also as well, if somebody has raised your point, there's no need to repeat what has been said. You can just listen to the other ones who have already said it. And if we've spoken about probably the ECDs or funding, there's no need to come and repeat it if it has been said by someone.
Okugcina ke if uphethe into ebhaliwe phansi nayo ungayisubmita pha kumagosa so that ungathathi isikhathi esiningi ufunda the whole paper ebhaliwe and obonayo ukuthi you can submit it. Or ungathi mawufika la ukhulume leyo oyikhulumayo mara ezinye mhlawumbe ungakhona ukuzikhuluma uzithathe ke uzingenise khona phaya.
If you have a written submission, you can just take it straight to our members on the side. And if you've got a lot of points in your written submission, you can just mention one point instead of going through the whole paper, and we'll note your submission.
Sizawuqalisa ke ukunotha izandla abantu beze ngaphambili mawufika la ngaphambili imask yakho ungayikhupha njengoba nami ndiyikhuphile mandithetha mari mawuqeda uthetha ubuyele esihlalweni sakho ubuye uyifake ngoba kaloku iCovid isesekhona ayikakapheli and i-regulations sonke la fanele sithi sawuqeda ukuzibeka ngoba zibekwe sithi nathi sizilandele nani ke siyacela ukuthi nizilandele. That's why nibona ukuthi kune social distancing lapha and ne hall fanele sizama ukuthi libe open sivule neminyango yonke lento. I hope niya sanitize nala eminyango so sizame kangangoko kwesonke ukuthi i-regulations sizibambe kahle.
So we will start by taking hands now, so when you come in front to say your concern, you'll take out your mask so that you can be audible, just like I've taken my mask out so that I can be audible to you. So we also follow the regulation of COVID-19 because we remember it's still here, and I hope you are all sanitizing as you enter the hall.
Thank you very much. Masinothi izandla ke.
Siyabonga.
Esokuqala sikuphi sizawuhlala apha emva kobaba lo.
The
ngoba
first one.
sizawukhulumela apha emic-ini.
The first one will sit just behind the gentleman who's doing the cameras.
Oh, akunazandla la. So singaqeda ke mos
We have no hands. We can just conclude if we don't have.
sithathe ngokuvala ngofefe. Sibonge.
We can just say thank you and then conclude.
All right. Iza baba.
You can come,
Siyavuya
please,
bobaba
sir.
bakhona namuhla.
We are happy that the men also are present today.
Okay. Ukhona omunye?
Is there another one?
Iza mama.
You can come, ma'am.
So bangaki manje bathathu. All right ke sizawuqhuba nalaba bathathu sibonge abantu senze ufefe sihambe. Abantu balaba baqonde kahle yonke into bayifundile.
There are only 3 hands that will be speaking. So we'll only take those hands and be
What
quickly
a
and
good
finish because
audience.
we see that the people here actually understand the bill.
What a good audience.
Nizlalele ezinhle.
Bheka ngapha. Oh, the other thing endilibele ukunihlebela yona.
Another thing that I forgot to mention to you,
Ukuthi nise TVini bethuna so fanele nincume kakuhle nibhukuze if awukakazi la.
you are live on television, so you must smile and show that friendly personality.
Nikwa ku YouTube.
You are also tied in on YouTube.
Fonelani bhalelana WhatsApp abantwana nibaxelele ukuthi bavule uYouTube, bavule no Twitter, no Instagram.
Please send your WhatsApp to children and inform them that you are on YouTube,
Fanele uqale
Instagram.
uncume njengamanje. You must smile.
Please smile.
Uyabona ke wase waba muhle njani. Icacile.
Look how good you look when you smile.
Okay, asiyeke.
Yebo.
Ungakhuluma ke sisi.
Sanibonani.
Good
Sawubona,
morning.
mama.
Oqala nje ngibonge icabinet lethu lehlile.
First of all, let me thank the cabinet for coming to us.
Sibonga kakhulu ngoba sinezinto eziningi eziyingqinamba ema-crash.
Thank you very much. We've got too many challenges that we are facing at ECD level.
Okokuqala nje ngiyayibona imali ke nayo iyadingeka ifunding.
First of all, let me acknowledge that, yeah, we do need funding.
Kodwa ke engikubuka kakhulu izakhiwo zethu zincane.
But my primary concern is that our buildings are too small.
Uthola ukuthi emphakathini khona izingane ezikhubazekile. Awusakwazi ukuthi lezi izingane ukwazi ukuyiaccommodate ziyize nazo.
You find that in the community there are children living with disability,
Uzazise ke kuqala.
but now you find that you cannot be able to accommodate them in the ECD institution.
No mama bazo bakhale ngezihlalo ukuthi ngabe bayaziletha kuma ECD. Manje kudingeka bayiqhube ngoba seyikhula khulile.
Even parents are complaining that they do not have chairs for them to bring these children to ECD. Sicela ushika malakho mama.
Uzanele Sibisi Olundi.
My name is Zanele Sbisi from Olundi.
Sengiqedile ngiyabonga.
That would be all. Thank you.
Uyabona wena ubuza ufumana 5/10.
You would have gotten 5 out of 10.
Inkinge yakho ukuthi awukasitshela ukuthi uyahambisana yini nalomthetho.
Your problem is that
iTV thathile.
Cha, angiqale ngixolise ukuthi ngizitshela ukuthi the time ngibingelela bese ngisho ngithi siyabonga icabinet lethu lehle ngibuka ukuthi bese kade sengimukela vele sengikhombisa ukujabula ngaleso sikhathi.
Let me apologize for that. When I greeted everyone and then I said thank you to Parliament, to the Cabinet for coming. But sisi ubungakasho ukuthi uyawamukela yini lo mthetho sivivinywa okukhulunywa ngawo la noma cha.
Yebo ngiphinde ngixolise. Siwamukela kakhulu umthetho okuchibiyela ngoba siyabona ukuthi ziningi izinto ezasalela emuva.
Apologies. I do accept and support the amendment bill.
Siyabonga ke ma upasile 10/10.
Thank you, lady. 10 out of 10, you passed.
Woza mama ujikelani kodwa buya mama.
You can come forward, please.
Ngiyathanda ukubingelela
I'd like to greet
And smile.
izikhulu
Moyizela ke.
zonke eziphume eParliament ezisivakashele la KwaZulu Natal.
I'd like to greet all members of Parliament who are visiting us here in KwaZulu Natal.
Siyabonga ngalokho sizwela sibakhulu kakhulu.
Thank you for that. We feel honored for that.
Thina ke mina ke ngiqhamuke kuyingedle organization protective workshop yabantu abaphila ngokukhubazeka.
I come from Ingede Organization Protective Workshop for people living with disability.
Usihlalo wethu attend umhlangano ngolosithathu ka-DSD.
My chairman is attending a meeting on Wednesday for the DSD department.
Nowabuya ke kithi ke sahlangana nabantu bethu ngoba siyahlangana esenteni. Sathi masihlangene nabo sakwazi ukukhuluma nabo sibabuza ukuthi nina bantu bethu enikhubazekile nithini? Ngiyaxolisa. Umthetho oqhamuke eParliament nithini nina?
He came back to us, we convened a meeting, we discussed the matter, and then we asked our people as to what they think about this amendment bill.
Sabhala ke sinama point 7 ngizofunda nje mashiya ngiqede.
We then took all the points down. We only have 7 points. I'll just try and read through it quickly.
Izwi lethu emphakathini
Our voice in community,
ingedle protective workshop.
Ingede Protective Workshop,
Phongolo local municipality.
Kumaspala Waso.
First one, we believe that each child should have a right to choose whom to stay with, and the other parent should have a right to maintain contact with that child.
Sikholelwa ukuthi ke
Isuse le mask yakuphazamisa. Isusu zobuya uyifaka ungayilahli.
you can remove your mask so that it does not disturb you. Sikholelwa ukuthi ingane inalo ilungelo lokukhetha ukuthi imuphi umzali ezohlala naye.
Second one, we disagree. We believe that any child under age must go to school without any pressure.
Sikholelwa ukuthi noma yiphi ingane engaphansi kweminyaka ewu-18 kufanele iye esikoleni ngaphandle kokucindezelwa.
The third one, we recommended that every place should have a care center where all vulnerable children would be kept safe.
Sikholelwa ukuthi ke zonke indawo kufanele kube khona ama care center, indawo ezinakekela izingane la izingane ezihlwempu ezihluphekile zingagcinwa khona kahle.
The fourth one, early childhood development is also recommended with specific programs and resources to meet their needs.
Sinqoma
Oh, sorry,
ungaqhubeka
there's a full stop.
Oh, sincoma ke ukuthi ke zonke inkulisa zibe nezinhlelo ezikahle namathuluzi afanele ukuze zikwazi ukwenza umsebenzi wazo
Full
emphakathini.
stop. Full stop.
Full stop. Ungqi.
This will make them feel safe, comfortable, and protected.
Lo-
It will also prepare them for school going.
Lokho kuyokwenza izingane zizizwe iphephile, zikhululekile, futhi zingakwenqeni ukuya esikoleni ziyofunda.
We agree with foster care placement as long the child will be safe and secure.
Izindawo lezi ke ezibizwa ngama foster care siyavumelana nazo, siyazamkela uma nje izingane ziyozizwa ziphephile kuzo.
A place or shelter must be assessed and monitored before any arrangements. Assesses family structure, family environment, whether it's suitable for child development.
I-
We also prefer a married
Comma or full stop?
Sorry, let me start afresh. A place or shelter must be assessed and monitored before any arrangements. Assesses family structure, family environment, whether it is suitable for child development.
Lezi ndawo ezigcina izingane ezibizwa ngama shelter kufanele ihlolwe kahle ukuthi isesimweni esikahle ukuthi zingagcina izingane yini. Kanti nalapha emakhaya emndenini kufanele kubhekwe lapho ukuthi le ndawo indawo ekahle yini yokuthi kungakhuliselwa abantwana kuyona.
We also prefer a married couple under one roof than unmarried parents.
Siphinde futhi ke sincamele ukuthi ke abazali abashadile bahlale ndawonye ngaphansi kophahla olulodwa, hayi lapho bengashadile.
The last one, the local municipality should come close to its community and listen to their voices, and inclusively with those people with disabilities.
Kanti ke nomasipala wendawo sithi awusondele eduze emphakathini, ulalele inkinga umphakathi obhekene nazo bese ke ubasiza ngendlela efanele.
Thank you.
Siyabonga.
Full stop, siyabonga.
Ungqi, thank you.
Bathini ekhaya laba bakuthumile bathi bayayisupport ibill of kanjani?
What do they say at homes? The one who
Mamo.
have sent you, do they support the bill?
Yingehle organization iya supporter or for I support ibill.
The Ngepe organization, does it support the bill or it doesn't?
Ngitseni but igama kalibizanga uyi-organization sesibhale ngehle organization igama layo.
And your name, you didn't mention your name. We just know
Oh,
about Ngepe
sorry.
supporting group.
Gertrude Mchangase.
I apologize. My name is
Gertrude, ne?
Gertrude Mjali.
Ngiyaxolisa kakhulu ukuthi ngazithuli igama lami.
Yebo.
I want to apologize by not mentioning my name.
Yes, ngiyaxolisa kakhulu.
I do
Sesikuxolele,
apologize.
ithini
We have
ingehle
forgiven him.
organization ithi iyasupporta le bill or for it?
What does the organization say? Does it support the bill?
Yes, supported.
Okay.
Yebo,
Zwekahle
iyayisekela.
ezo point zakho siyabonga ke Nkosi.
We have heard your points. Thank you very much.
Full stop.
Full stop.
Sanibonani.
Greetings.
Ngibingelele iParliament ngoba khona kwalo ngibele nomphakathi wonke.
I want to greet the Parliament for coming and the whole community.
Khanyusele kancinci Mike, khanyuse kancinci.
Can you just increase the mic for him?
Qhubekeke ke baba.
You can continue.
igama ngufana wankosi
My name is Fana Nkosi.
khona lapha elokishini eBhekuzulu
I'm from this place in Beguzulu.
siyayimukela iBhill
We do accept the bill.
njengokukhulisa kubambisana ukukhulisa kweingane
As we work together for raising the children,
siyadinga la njengobaba ukuthi sibe nalo nathi thuba lokuthi sibe izingane zibe ngakithi ndiphinde zibe nako umama ukubambisana nisho kuthiwa anishadile noma kuthiwa ade nihlalisana phambilini ngokubhekelela kweingane.
we need that as fathers. We need to work together as partners. Even if we don't stay together, we should work together.
Kakhulukazi kobaba ngoba kuyaziwa kobaba isikhathi esiningi ukuthi bangabantu iningi lethu elingabi nakho kunakekela kuyodinga ukuthi uma kuthi ubaba udinga ukuthi ingane ibe ngakuyena kanje kuyobhekisiswa indlela yenhlalo
It is
inhlalo inhle kuleyo ndawo bese kwazi ukuthi kwenzeke leyo nto.
It is important as fathers also to have a share so that we can be able to have a share in raising the kids. And also when the kids have to stay with the father, it's always good to go and look at the area to see if it's conducive for the child to stay there.
Bese sidlula lapha sizobheka lapha lokho kuthiwa
Khulumela phezulwanyana kunabantu la.
Can you
ekugcineni.
speak up?
bese sidlula lapha ukubhekelela ukuthi mhlawumbe lokho kuthiwa ukuganiswa kweingane.
We also want to talk about the forced marriage that are done to children.
Lokho ngathi impela ngaze kube impoqo ukuthi ingane mayingaphansi kweminyaka ewu18 kungenzakali. Ngoba lo muntu akakwazi ukuyithathela yena inqumo sesitshela ukuthi inqumo zakhe isathathwa abadala.
We are concerned that especially when kids are under 18, they can make their decisions on that matter. Not the decision shouldn't be done by the elderly or the family.
Bese yadlula size lapha ukutshotshwa kweingane nokubhekelela kweingane ukuthi ngaba kuhle ukuthi uma kube kutholakala izingane ekade ilahlekile iqoqwe lezo ngane ibekwe
We
kuze
also
kutholakala abazali bazo.
We also are concerned
Ngaba
about
yinto enhle.
kids trafficking also, and we are concerned that such kids who have been trafficked, if they are found, they should be put together and be safe.
And leyo ndawo ebeka kuyo ngaba indawo enhle
And the place,
ene-shelter enayo zonke idingo zomuntu esuke idinga ngaleso sikhathi.
and the place where they should be placed, it should be a beautiful place where they can stay, a safe environment.
Cha nakho sesibona lapha sesidlula ku ACD.
I want to
ECD.
talk about the ECDs as well.
Cha size ngathi indaba ezoba zinhle lezo masobona ukuthi no basic education sezongenelela lapho. Ngaba
is-
kuhle kakhulu.
It is a good thing that also basic education will be ECDs will be the part of basic education as well.
Letho lesibona ukuthi ngaba kuhle ukuthi ikhulisa ingane ithi iqala iqhubeka ngokwezemfundo ibe yazi ukuthi iya kuphi nansi into right efundayo mahle ukuthi basic education uzoyiqala lapha ya esuka khona incane.
This will be
Ngaba
good
yinto enhle.
because basic education will be able to help the kids. They'll be able to fast track the knowledge of the kid, which is going to be good for the kids.
Cha bese lapha ku adoptwa kweingane.
And I want to talk about adoption as well.
Lokho impela ngathi ngaqhubeka kubhekelele ukuthi ingane adoptwa khona leyo ndawo i right yini lo muntu lo uzokwazi ukumelana naso simo kuthathwa kwengane angabe umuntu oyedwa ozothi ufuna ingane kulowo muzi aqhunywana even ane family ahlangane nayo ukuthi le ngane izokwazi ukuphila even nale family le around lo muntu lo uthatha ingane ngaleso sikhathi
And also-
izokwamukeleka ngendlela ekuyiyona yini na ingathi inikezwe lo muntu oyedwa kanti mhlawumbe egcineni lo muntu uzokwenzeka ahambe leyo ngane mayisisala izosala bese iqhubeka kanjani nempilo leyo nto fanele ibhekwe ukuthi ziba right yini.
And also, I
Makhathele
want to
zongane.
talk about the matter of adoption, and that when the child is adopted, it shouldn't be just one person, one member of the family. It should be the whole family. Family members have to be told that we're going to adopt this child, because sometimes you find that the person who adopted the child probably leaves or something happens to that person, so the child is left with the family members who were never involved in adoption.
Cha bese sidlula lapho sidlula kwi role edlalwa efanele idlalwe umasipala kuthini ukuthi umasipala ngaba ukuthi always abe nokuxhumana okukahle ne-community sikwazi ukusizakala nabantu lapha phansi kwakhula zona izingane nawo ama-crash ngoba inkinga eziningi ethwala ema-crash ziyadinga ukuthi umasipala ayilungise ngoba uthi uyafika e-crash ayinamanzi ayinagesi.
And
Kodwa
also,
khona izingane ezincane ezisakhulayo kuleyo ndawo bese uyibuza ukuthi lezi ngane ena ikuphi impilo yazo ngoba phela ikusasa lethu thina sibhekele kuzo lezi ngane.
and also we want to talk about the municipality, their roles. The municipality should actually come to the people, be closer to the people, because in the ECDs we find a lot of challenges. You find that sometimes in the ECDs there's no electricity, there's no water, all those challenges. How can they come about those challenges? So, because the children are our future actually, so it's a concern.
Hayi ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much.
Siyabonga baba, maru ukhulumele nzansi manje.
Thank you very much, sir, but you were speaking in a very low voice.
Otherwise ama-points siwazwe kahle.
But so far we had all your points.
Baphelile abantu abafuna ukuza ngaphambili. Woza mama.
Are they all the people who
Woza
want to
baba.
say something
Angazi nokuthi
finished?
uyaphakamisa na baba.
Sir, are you
Woza
raising
baba.
your hand? You can come.
Khona isandla somewhere here.
There's a
Woza
hand
mama,
just
woza
on this
sis.
road.
Hayi si mama sesi hayibo. Chopha
can
lapha
come.
esitulweni mama.
You can sit there in the chair.
Dibheke ezinye izandla zokugcina.
I
Ngaya,
am looking
mama.
for more hands.
Sanibonani.
All right, badle yonke ne. Babethethe konke. Oh.
There is another hand over there.
All right. Sinikela kuwe. Ncuma mama.
Ungamoyizela nje mama.
Ngiyabingelela itafula.
Greetings
Zonke,
to the table,
kuyinkhundlu zabo.
all members who are present.
Ngibonga ukuthi uhulumeni wakithi asinike indlebe namhlanje.
We are grateful to have our government listen to us today.
Ngokukhulu jabula bill amendment esithulelwe namhlanje.
We are very pleased to support the amendment bill. Please remove your mask. It is disturbing you.
Ngiyabonga.
Thank you.
Ngithanda ukusho ukuthi siyamukela kakhulu ibill esithulelwe namhlanje.
I'd like to say that we support the bill that has been presented to us this morning.
Mina ke igama lami Vuyelwa Phyllis Sibiya osuka Olundi.
My name is Vuyelwa Sibiya from Ulundi.
Phansi kwe organization Adonai of
I come from the Adonai organization.
Okay. So ngithanda ukusho ukuthi kule nhlangano yethu sibe nokuthi sithokoze uma ngabe kuphathwa indaba yentandane abantwana abangenabani ngoba sibhekene naleyo nkinga endaweni esikuyona.
We, as the organization, we were very pleased when we heard that when we had the issue of orphans being mentioned, because that is the greatest challenge that we are facing.
Endaweni angazi ke kwezinye indawo kodwa endaweni esikuyona siye sibuke ukuthi abantwana laba abashonelwayo abazali kusale ngekho umuntu ekhaya mhlambe kufike isifo kushuthi organization yethu siqale ngokubuka isimo se HIV and AIDS abantu beshona beshiya abantwana emakhaya.
When we started our organization, we looked at how HIV, when, for example, when a parent passes on due to HIV, you find that children are left behind with no one to look after them.
Nezinye ke izifo eziqhubekayo zivela zihambe nemindeni kusale abantwana bekhulisana bebodwa.
There are many other various diseases that have killed parents, and then children are left behind on their own. You find children raising other children.
Ilo mthwalo ke owasenza ukuthi siqale lenhlangano nje ngokuthi nje uma sihambele mina ke nje bengihambela kakhulu nezikole njengomuntu othandazayo ngiyithandazela izingane kutholakala ukuthi masifika ezikoleni kunenkinga yabantwana sebeyeka ngisho isikole ngoba kungekho umuntu obachasayo nobasizayo baqhubeka isikole.
These are the reasons why we started this organization. Sometimes we visit schools. Me as a person who I pray at schools, and then you find that other kids, they even drop out of school because they've got no one to support them financially.
Kube nobuhlungu bokuthi masiye emngcwabeni siyongcwaba and siyoshiya nikingani mhlazane sihamba nehloko ebeyifika ekhaya zishiye kunjalo kungekho umuntu owazi sala kwenziweni la ekhaya lezingane ezihlalayo zizohlala nobani zigadwe ubani. Leyo nto yaze yavela ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi ziyakhula zikhulisana zodwa zingenamuntu elulekayo nanempilo yokuziphatha kwenzeke noma yini kuvele ingozi kuvele neyinkinga nje zokuthi bekudingeka umzali ekhaya. So yiloko kwenza ukuthi siqale sibuke ukuthi singenze njani. Sahlangana ke nesihlangana nabo sawenza le organization saqala silalutho sibanikeza abantwana ezikoleni izinto zokugqoka kusho ukuthi siyazi ukuthi soxhaswa ubani. Kweminyaka emithathu yingakho ngicelile ngibonga ukuthi uhulumeni namhlanje asinikeze ukuze ayenze izikhalo esinazo emakhaya.
Even when you go to funerals, it's very sad when at the end of the funeral, everybody is dispersing to go to their homes. You see these kids, they are left behind with no one to take care of them, no one to support them financially, no one to guide them and teach them and raise them. That is the reason why we started this organization, just to make sure that these kids are supported.
Ngiyabonga ziningi izinto enginazo ngizocela ukuthi ngizinqamule kuze ngifike la engifisa ukuthi uhulumeni asibhekelele. Siqalile umsebenzi sistruggle ngempela manje sikhipha emalini zethu zeimpesheni sikhipha ingobo zethu ekade sigqokisa abazukulu nabantu sihamela ngale into ngoba singenayo into yokuthi sizoba ngena ukuthi sibanikeze hands sibanikeze izinto esesizisebenzisile ukuthi singabathengela esikoleni sibambe ingane zikwamakilasi aphezulu sithatha ama uniform sifake kulaba because banga drop esikoleni kungakafiki isikhathi sokuthi bakwazi ukuyiphilisa.
Thank you. Thank you very much to Parliament members for coming here just to listen to us. It has been very difficult. When we started this organization, you find that sometimes you even have to use your pocket money in order to support these kids. Sometimes you'd want to take clothes that belong to your grandchildren just to go and donate to these kids so that they have some clothing and support.
Bongcono babe nekhaya elizoba ikhaya labo lapho bezokwazi ukuthi sibafundise khona ngisho imisebenzi yezandla ngisho abaye esikoleni baye esikoleni abasebezingeni lokuthi sebekhulile bakwazi ukuziphilisa ngesikhathi esilandelayo bangadepend ekutheni bazohlala la kwi-orphanage ngoba phela siyahamba emhlabeni and isikhathi siyahamba bakwazi ukuyiphilisa. So sifuna leyo center enjalo asinamali siyaphatanisa siyafisa ukuthi noma sesidlule emhlabeni sishiye laba abantwana bephilisa benekhaya elithi bona ngoba
we would like to request government to assist us. We want to construct a facility where we are going to keep these children that have been adopted. We have found a property, a site where we can build. The problem is that we do not have money to build. So we need government to support us. We want to keep these children in that facility and teach them and train them to work with their hands and send them to school so that even when we die, we are no longer there. Those children are able to continue sustaining themselves after we have passed on.
Imake mama, ake sisabela ukuthi le orphanage ese Ulundi. Andithi ngumama uSibiya wena.
Ndingumama uSibiya mina.
You are Mrs. Spear.
I-registerishiwe ke.
Ewe.
Is it registered?
I-registerishiwe kodwa
anifumani funding.
Asifumani funding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Asifumani funding mama.
Anitholi sizwe nakubo.
Sitholi sizwe. Siyazi nokuzathi.
Nyazizamela.
Ewe mama. Inkinga enkulu ziyanda intandane sihamba le amakhaya sibone izinto ezibhlungu.
All right.
Ubhlungu abantwana abazintandane
The orphanage is registered. The problem is that we do not get any assistance. There is no funding. Hold it right there.
Bahlezi lapha bakuzwile ukuthi ngumama uSibiya obuye Lundi uregistered mari funding ayingeni lapho.
Social workers are here. They have heard your concern. You said you are Mrs. Spear from Ulundi. They will assist you.
All right.
Thank you.
Masifumane olandelayo.
Can we get the next speaker?
Okay. Asisheshe kanibazise ngaphambili kancane.
Please come forward.
Yeah. All right, ke. Khona ezinye izandla ke?
Are there any more hands?
Nangasa esokugcina
Oh, there is the last one
So
at the
usiza
back.
nawe ube ngokho. Oh, nalaba ba.
Right.
Sikhona esinye, oh nazi ezinye eziyi-2. Kanibazamela indawo nabo bahambe baye khona lapha etyhwini.
There's
La-
2
by
more
2.
hands. Can you
Okay.
provide a place for them, maybe where they can stand?
All right. Sinikeze wena ke mama. Uzazise ke njalo njalo.
We'll give
Enkosi.
over to you, ma'am. You can introduce yourself.
Ngiyabingelela kakhulu abahambeli bethu abaphathi bethu.
Sondela kancane embokweni.
Siyanithanda kakhulu sithokozile kakhulu.
I would like
Ngisuka
to,
laphaya oPhongolo ngifike laphi wakakhumalo.
Mama, khawungathi uphakamisa kancane izwi. Bazwe nalaba abahlezi phandle.
Ngiyabingelela kakhulu.
Awukakancumi. Smile.
you haven't smiled, smile.
Ngibingelela abahambeli bethu abaphathi bethu.
I would like to greet the
Sithokozile
panel.
kakhulu ukuba khona kwenu siyabheka ukuthi kuningi sizosizakala kukho.
We are happy that you are here today. By being here today, I think you will find help.
Ngisuka oPhongolo uECD.
I'm from Opongolo, ECD.
Siyawusupporta kakhulu uhlelo enize ngalo lokuchibiyela siyalithokozela kakhulu.
We are happy about the bill and we support the amended bill.
Kuncane nje engizokhuluma ngakho noma ngabe kuningi kodwa ngizobeka nje okuncane. Siyabonga kakhulu ku social development ngokusisupporta kuma ECDs. Lokho kuselekelele kakhulu kubantwana laba othola ukuthi mayefika ecreche ulambile ngempela afike kodwa afika sizakale ngoba lolu hlelo lwaqhamuka ukuthi asiphekele abantwana lwenza uhlelo oluhle kakhulu. Bakhona abantwana ukusizakala.
We support the bill and we support what you talk about, especially about the ECDs, because with this ECD projects, the kids are able to be helped. They are able to get something at the ECDs.
Yes. Siyalithanda kakhulu ke lolu hlelo lwaselekelela kakhulu emphakathini ngoba ikhona imizi ngempela obona ukuthi ikati leleziko.
It has helped us a lot, especially to the families who are poor.
Uma ngabe okusilimazayo ke nje ebantwaneni uthola ukuthi icrash onayo inabantwana mhlasimpe aba 130.
What hurts us is that when you have an ECD, you find that you have a lot of kids, like maybe 130 kids.
Kwase kufika lolu hlelo abathi i-master list.
And we had this thing that is called study list.
Lwakhatha abantwana lokho kwafika kwasilimaza kakhulu thothi nje umuntu mhlawumbe no 135 wengane no 130 bese kuthiwa ke klemela ingane eziwu 43.
It's this project said you must cut the amount of kids that you can have. If maybe you had like about 100 kids, you were supposed now to have at least 40 kids. So now we suffered financially.
Lokho kwayephula kakhulu imphefumulo yethu kodwa sokusithemba ukuthi mhlasimpe kuzolunga kwagcina ke hayi akufuni ukulunga. So kulezi ingane oyiklemela eziwu 43 oyiklemelayo ukuthi mhlawumbe uzothola u11,000 noma u10,000 kuleyo nyanga osukukleme ngayo.
Because now we have reduced kids, you find that probably if you were going to get more money and now you get less, now you get about 11,000. So now that really hurts us.
Kule mali oyitholayo unabancedisi lapha esikoleni mhlasimpe abawu4 othisha ababili kulezi ngane eziningi ophekayo isecurity.
So, and you find that at the ECDs now you have people that you have employed that you must pay. You find you have security, you have 2 teachers and you have other helpers. So now you have to pay them.
Ugcina mhlasimpe usiyothenga igrocery ngo 3,000.
You end up paying for the grocery around 3,000 rand.
Kulesi simo esibhekene naso seCovid ukudla kubiza ngendlela emangalisayo.
During this COVID time, food is very expensive.
Kuphele ngeviki elilodwa lokudla kuka 3,000.
And this food of 3,000 rand, it would only last you a week probably.
lokho ke khona okwenza ingxaki kakhulu
That-
emasenteni ethu.
That causes a lot of problem in our centers.
Uma ngabe nje abaphathi bethu bengasibhekelela lapho ukuthi lo master list uphela nini singabonga.
If you, as our leaders, if you can end this thing so that it can be somehow better for us, we will be very thankful for that.
Ngoba ingane nanamhla zisazalwa ziyagcwala siyasihlula manje.
Because there are always kids that are born and there's a lot of kids and we need to help them also.
Siyabonga.
Thank you very much.
Siyabonga ke olandelayo bathu.
Thank you very much. The next one can come.
Right. Okay, sanibonani.
Good morning.
Ngiyabingelela ihambeli zethu. Ngiyabonga
We-
ihambeli zethu ebuye eParliament kakhulu. Ukuthi zizosilalela nathi ukuthi sithini.
Oh, ungakhiphi-
Ususa
ungakhiphi.
imic ma. Usondele
Please
kakhulu.
remove,
Mask.
remove your mask and speak up.
Ngiyabonga ihambeli zethu ezikhona ezisihambeli eParliament ukuthi nathi sifikele la indawo zasemakhaya.
We are grateful to have Parliament delegation.
Mina igama lami nguThembelihle wakwaDlamini eMondo.
My name is Tembelihle Dlamini from Mondlo.
Ngiqhamuka kwiCathulani Daycare Crash
I come from Atulani Daycare Crèche
kwaMabona.
from Mabona area.
Mina isifiso sami bengifisa ukuthi mhlawumbe kube nawo umthetho njengathi la emakhaya endaweni zethu zasemakhaya. Ingane ezincane siyithole ihamba hamba emgwaqeni zinganawo ama-center.
My wish is that we get centers around locally, especially here in the rural areas. It has become a norm to see children gallivanting in the streets with no shelters.
Siphinde sibe nenkinga noma usuzamile ngaphakathi ejardini lakho ukuthi uqoqa abantwana uzama ukuvula icrash. Siyaye sibe nenkinga noma social development siyacela ukuthi angenelele noma ngabe ilo okaka-register bakusize ukuthi uregister bakuhambise indlela ukuthi kufanele wenze njani mangabe uhlala nezingane.
Even when you have tried to open a crèche and you bring these kids to your home, to that crèche that you have opened, we really ask Social Development Department to assist us in getting these crèches registered. They must help us follow all the proper procedures in terms of registration.
Siyacela ukuthi besisize noma abasika-register thola ukusiza ukuthi sizenza njani ngoba uthatha isikhathi nakhona ukuthi usizakale ubuqhubeka uhlala nabantwana awazi ukuthi kumele ulandele miphi imithetho.
Let
Noma ngabe
them-
urejistile sicela ukuthi silandelele ukuthi sihlala nabasaka-register kodwa sisalindile sicela ukuthi kube nemithetho elandelayo ukuthi senza njani ungaka-register.
Let them help us. Even when we are not yet registered, they must be able to help us as to what we ought to do in the meantime, because children are already there. The crèche is there. It's not registered. Children are there. So they must help us even if we are not yet registered.
Siyabonga imithetho ekhona siyafisa ukuthi siyilandele siyafisa ukuthi nomphakathi esihlala kuyo iyazi imithetho.
We want to follow proper procedures, and we also want our communities to be conscientized about these procedures and know them.
Siyabonga.
Thank you.
Siyayemukela ibhili.
We support the bill.
Inyuse kancane ma. Inyuse baba. Yeke.
Ngithanda ukuthatha leli thuba ngibonge kakhulu umnyango wezenhlalakahle gazwe lonke ozile la
I would like
uzoyibandakanya kunye nathi.
I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Department of Social Development for coming to us to speak to us.
Igama lami nguMntungu Watenzi ngibuya oPhongolo eInkosi yethu Crèche.
My name is Ntungwa Ntenzi. I'm from Opongolo. I'm the member of an ECD crèche.
Ngizoqala nje ukubonga kakhulu baphathi bami abasebenzi eninabo le ema officeini akwa DSD we local office yasophongolo.
I would like to thank my leaders that you have in the office in Opongolo.
Abathi mabefika sebezwile ukuthi kukhona abantu abaqoqe abantwana basifica semkhukhwini bafike basamukela sarejisteka kuze kube manje.
When they came to us, we were using a shack. They heard that we had kids that we had collected together, so they came to us and they supported us.
Lokho ngeke ngize ngikhohlwe.
That
Lawo
I won't,
ma-social worker afika ngaleso sikhathi.
that I won't forget what the social workers did and who came during that time.
Abaningi sebawathathile ke ama-point ami ngoba benginama-point nje kakhulukazi omunye umama ofike wakhuluma ngalo la.
Others have already talked about some of the points that I heard. There's one lady who specifically talked about those points.
Ophongolo ke baphathi thina la esakhe ngakhona kune-border yaseSwazini.
In Opongolo, where we stay, we have a border that is close to us, the Swaziland border.
Mhlambe okungenzeka mangukuthi niyabona ama-figures kumphathi wethu wasophongolo. Nibona ungazuthi ama-figures ey'ngane maningi noma ama-crèches maningi. It's because sakhelene ne-Swaziland.
Probably you see some of our figures from our leaders. You see that we've got a lot of crèches or ECDs and a lot of kids there. It's because we are close to the Swaziland border.
Siye sikhulume ke nabo abaphathi bethu siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi basivizitha bayibone inkinga esibhekene nazo. Ezinye zibe ngaphezulu kwamandla abo ukuthi bangasixazululela kanjani.
We are happy about our leaders who come to visit us to have a look at the challenges that we face. And some of those challenges, sometimes they are beyond our control. And also they don't know how to solve those challenges.
Okokuqala ukungabi nawo ama-IDs wabantwana kodwa bebe nawo ama-card bazalelwe next ey'bhedlela lezi ngoba isibhedlela esikhona lapha ePhongolo itshele Juba bebe nama-card but bengabi nawo ama-certificates.
The first problem is that you find that the kids have been born in Opongolo around the border. They don't have birth certificates.
Lokho okwenza ukuthi sigcine sesithwele umthwalo omkhulu kuma-ECD centers ethu.
That brings a serious challenge in the ECDs.
Ngoba u-Department of Education akasayithathi ingane zingenawo ama-birth certificates.
Because the Department of Education doesn't enroll kids who don't have birth certificates.
And uthola ukuthi izingane esesinazo ema-center iminyaka yazo isimkhulu kunezingane ezifanelekile ngoba phela sithatha from 0 up to 5 years.
Sometimes you find the kids that we have there at the ECDs, they are older to be at the ECDs because there's nothing we can do about those kids because we actually enroll kids who are 0 to 5 years.
Mina ke uthola ukuthi certificate sami njobe seke asho umem mhlambe ngineyingane ezo-120.
For instance, you find that maybe I have kids who are about 120 in the ECD.
Sekunalezi ezinye grade mhlambe 2 years back mhlambe sezu-30 izila sengineyingane ezu-150.
You find that now I've got kids who have graduated who are supposed to be out, but they are there, and then I end up having more kids than I'm supposed to have.
Ezizothola i-subsidy yeyingane ezu-60 lapha.
Who are going to benefit from the subsidy of the fewer kids that I'm supposed to have.
Njengomuntu okhona osebenzayo obhekelele umphakathi ngoba njengoba nisibeke silapha yana nisithembile ukuthi samukele noma yini kuneyintandane kunani nani nabahlukumezekile bangaphansi kwethu njengeso nathi sibhekelele ini umnyango wenu.
As you have deployed us to be the members of the community to help, to be able to help the people there, we face those challenges, but we want to help. We want everybody to be helped.
Akulula ukuthi sibalandule kubazali babo sithi ningabaletha abantwana ngoba basithembile nabo singomama siyikho konke nathi khona lapha emaseni.
It's not easy just to tell the parents that we can't do anything about your kids because we are mothers. We feel their pain. We're supposed to care for them.
Ama-point nje babese ngishilo ukuthi asethathiwe amanye ngiyathanda ukuthi sinithembise thina njengaba o supervisor mhlambe nabanye abasebenza ukuthi ophongolo sizoqhubeka siwenze umsebenzi nometha kusinda kangaka.
As others have mentioned some of the points that I said I wanted to talk about, but what I want to assure you about is that in Opongolo we'll continue to do our work as best as we can, even if sometimes it's beyond our power, but we'll do whatever we can to continue.
Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much.
All right, siyabonga mama.
Igama lami ngingiphiwa amandla mzikayifani Thungo.
My name is Piwamandla Mzikayifani Thungo.
Ngimele ke iforum
I represent a forum
yamadoda Olundi.
of men in Ulundi.
Ngiyafisa ukubonga
Nasi
kakhulu
situlo asikisi kancane baba. Nasi situlo mama.
There's a chair this
Nasi,
side,
baba.
ma'am.
All right. Asikisi baba. Qhubekeka.
Ungaqhubeka.
Siyafisa ukubonga kakhulu leli thuba esilinikezwe iParliament phezulu ukuba sizo banathi ingxenye yokuphawula maqondana nomthetho lo olungiswayo wabantwana.
We'd like to thank Parliament for the opportunity they've afforded us to come and offer our comments and questions and be part of this discussion about the amendment bill of the Children's Act.
Okuningi sebekushila abahambe phambili.
Most of the points that I was going to discuss here have already been touched on.
Kodwa ngiyafisa nje ukuphawula kakhulu ngamandla obuzali bomntwana uma ngabe ezelwe.
I still do wish to comment about the power that we have when a child is born.
Kakhulu amandla abewela ngakumuntu wesifazane kodwa manje siyabonga ukuthi umthetho uyakubona lokho ukuthi kukhona lapha olekha khona ukuba ukwazi ukuthi amandla nomuntu wesilisa abe nawo amandla ekukhuliseni umntwana ozelwe.
We notice that women have been given more power, but now it seems that is being reviewed so that the scales are balanced nicely.
Lokhu bekugcina kwenze ingane kwesinye isikhathi ikhule ngesimo ikhule ngaphansi kwesimo esingesihle uma ngabe umzali wentombazi umzali wesifazane ingane ingakuyena ngoba umzali mhlambe wesilisa ikakhulukazi kubantu abebekhula abebekade bengekho emshadweni kwenza lokho ukuthi ingane mhlawumbe umzali wesilisa ube ngaba nawo amandla okuyikhulisa kahle ingane noma ibingakwazi ukukhula ngendlela eyiyona uma ibihlala nomzali wesilisa kodwa manje uthola ukuthi ngapha ngenxa yomthetho ingane isikhula esimeni esibucayi sempilo okuyenza ukuthi igcina ingasakwazi ukukhula ngendlela eyiyona yona.
This has resulted in having many kids not being raised up in a proper manner because you find that the child grows up in her or his maternal side and the father is not too involved in the rearing of the child.
Mhlawumbe nje okunye engingakuphawula kafushane bengingacela lapha mhlawumbe uma ngabe lo mthetho wenziwa akube khona phela isigabana esizosho nokuthi nesizokwazi ukuthi ukuthi kunini lapha umntwana angakwazi ukuthi mina ngifuna ukuyohlala nomzali wami wesilisa noma nobaba wami kunoma ngihlale nomama wami ngikhulele khona.
As the act is being amended, I wish there could be a section there that sort of indicates as to at what stage can a child decide for herself or himself as to which parent he would like to spend his life with.
Bese kiza ke kokwesibili lokhu kushadiswa kwabantwana.
And also the issue of forced marriages.
Siyafisa nje ukuthi lokho kuphele nje nya ukushadiswa kwabantwana. Hayi nokuthi kube khona ukuhlengahlengiswa kwakhe kodwa nje kuphele mhlambe kusukela eminyakeni nje le ewu16 wengane kuya phansi kuphele ukushadiswa kwengane ngoba leyo ngane ayikakabi sesimeni sokuthi ingashadiswa noma ngabe ngoba kuqala bekukhona ukuhlangahlengiswa ukuthi akube khona i-consent yomzala akungenziwa babikho nje lokho umuntu uma ngabe eshadisa ingane ngaleyo ndlela umthetho mawuthatha indawo yawo.
We'd like to have the practice of forced marriages completely abolished. There mustn't be any reviews about it or updates, because as you know that before, you'd hear it being said that there must be a consent of a parent. We don't even want that. Let it be abolished completely.
Bese siza ke futhi la ufudukeni siyacela la uyisicelo nje lesengisethulayo kube khona ukubambisana okukhulu phakathi komphakathi amaphoyisa kanjalo nabezenhlala kahle ikakhulukazi makuya kulezi ingane ezifudukwayo ngoba indlela izingane eseyidayiswa ngayo nezingane eseyithathwa ngayo manje ziyo dayiswa isiphezulu kakhulu akube khona nje okukhulu ukubambisana futhi okunokusheshsha okunokuacta okusheshshayo uma ngabe kwenzeka kutholakala ingane okungaqondakala ukuthi ikusiphi isimo.
With the issue of trafficking, child trafficking, we urge these two departments, the Department of Social Development and SAPS services, to work together and cooperate and act swiftly if there are reports of child trafficking.
Bese siza ke einkulisa ngiyaqonda ukuthi sekukhona lolu ufuduko lokuthi inkulisa seyizokwazi ukuthi kwesikakhulukazi zibe ngaphansi kwa education siyakubonga kakhulu.
We are grateful for the fact that ECDs are now going to be part of the Department of Education.
Kodwa ke siyacela ukuthi kube nendlela kube nohlelo lwe-transition lokudlulisela leso lokho ngapha kulomnyango wakwa-education nanokuthi futhi umnyango wakwa-education nawo kufanele wazi ukuthi iy'nkulisa ziqalwe abantu abanjani ngoba ikakhulukazi iy'nkulisa zethu ziphethwe zifundisa yingane ezibe zino-matric nje ekuyizona bekade ziqala lezo inkulisa zafundisa ingane zize zifinyelele zingeni ke lapha seziyongena seziyongena ko grade 1 kanjalo ngakho ke kufanele kube khona lokho kuxhumana noma lokho ukuxhumanisa leso simo ebesikade sikhona kungavane ngoba kunabantu abaningi abazophelelwa umsebenzi ngokomnyango wa-education.
So what we say that there must be a proper transit or transfer mechanism from the ECD level to normal schools. Even the point of the point of monitoring as to who owns these ECDs, because sometimes you find that they are being owned by someone who is just a matriculant. And then you find that they are also teaching there.
Kungenzeka ukuthi education mhlawumbe sezofuna ukuthi kube ne qualification ethize umuntu ozofanele abe nayo ukuze akwazi ukufundisa kulezo inkulisa. Sicela education kube khona uhlelo lokudevelopa labo othisha abadevelopele kuleyo qualification ayobe idinga kunoma bakhiphe ngaphandle.
Perhaps the Department of Education is going to say, for a person to own an ECD center, they must have a proper qualification, or else they must just capacitate these people, ensure that they are trained and be proper teachers in these ECDs.
Bese ngiza ke ekuxhasweni kwazo inkulisa.
And also the funding of these ECDs.
Kakhulu siyazi ukuthi umnyango udlale indima enkulu, ubudlala indima enkulu umnyango wakwa social development ekuxhasweni kweinkulisa, ikakhulukazi ngasekudleni kwengane ezisuke zilapho einkulisa.
We are cognizant of the fact that the Department of Social Development has played a major role in the ECDs in terms of food.
Ngakho ke siyocela futhi lokho kuqhubeke ukuthi kube khona lokho kusebenzisana komnyango wa education kanjalo nomnyango wa social development kulowo mkhakha.
Let there be cooperation between the Department of Education and the Department of Social Development in terms of that.
Bese siphinde futhi sinxusa kakhulu nomasipala abakhona endaweni ukuthi nabo bangenelele, ikakhulukazi ngoba lezi inkulisa iningi lazo uzoyithola ukuthi zakhelwe emzini yabantu.
We also urge the local municipality to come forward and intervene in this, because you find that most of these ECDs are built in the homes of certain individuals in the community.
Kuleso simo ingane zifunda esimeni esingekho sihle kahle hle ukuthi zingakwazi ukuthi ikakhulukazi mase kuya kwezempilo.
And that is not a conducive environment for kids to learn.
Ngakho ke siyacela ukuthi umasipala naye akwazi ukuthi abe ingxenye enkulu uma ngabe sekuya ekutheni kwakhelwe lezi inkulisa indawo lapha izokwazi ukufundela khona. Noma ngabe ke kuthiwa ke ngoba amahholo siyabona ngathi uyawakhiqiza impela umasipala amahholo eindaweni. Lawo mahholo ke uma ngesikhathi engasebenzi lutho awavumeleke ukuthi inkulisa zikwazi ukusebenzela kuwona.
Let the municipality play a major role in the construction of these proper ECD centers, or else community halls may be used, because we've seen them that they're being renovated. Now we also think that if they are not being used by the community, perhaps the ECD centers may want to use these community halls.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you very much.
All right, Baba. I think ukhulume into ebadlayo abantu bala. Baze bakushayela nezandla. Akuna no one okhe washayela izandla ngaphandle kwakho.
I think you spoke.
Ukhulumele bonke ke seyiqedile. Kuthiwa kwenze njani? Igqityiwe ke le ndaba seyiqediwe. Le ndaba yokuthi abaholi abantu abangama educated ECD.
I think you have spoken for all the people who want to talk about being helped with money, about the ECDs. You have spoken for everyone. We have closed these matters of people wanting funding about the ECDs.
Sanbonani. Igama lami nguChristina Ngokombatha.
Greetings, my name is Christina Mbata.
Ngiqhamuka le eMondlo eWard 16.
I'm from Mondlo in Ward 16.
phansi kwenjongo yethu injongo yethu.
Under the project that is called Injongo Yetu.
Ngijabula kakhulu ba sibe yingxenye yaleli parliament namhlanje.
I'm happy to be part of this parliament today.
Siyabonga ukuthi nathi asibancinyane la Abaqulusini ukuthi sithole lethuba elinjengaleli.
I'm happy that here in Abaqulusi we are not so significant that we couldn't get a chance like this.
Sibonga kakhulu nathi sibe yingxenye yalomthetho okhulunywa ngawo njengamanje.
We are happy to be part of this bill that we are talking about now.
Ngisawubuka lo mthetho kade ngiqeda ukufunda nje ngubuka ngiyo ingxenye ukuthi nami ngiyawuphasisa lo mthetho kodwa engifuna sithi sikubukisisa impela ukuthi okuningi esakwazi ukuphinda phinda obaza kwethi sekushilo kodwa engakubuka nje ukuthi sisicelela impela ukuthi lezi ngane engaphansi ka16 years ayikabi nalo lelo lungelo ukuthi nje singahamba ziyogana ngoba masingenza kanjalo sibulala amalungelo abo ukuthi afune ukuthi bahambe baqhubeke bawufunda ekolweni.
I'm happy about the bill and I support it, especially on the matter of forced marriages, especially to kids who are under 16. I think it's a good law. I'm very happy about it because kids are supposed to be still in school at that age.
Singomama ikakhulukazi ithina esithola nzima kakhulu ubhekana nalabo abantwana laba abangenabo abazali.
As mothers, we are the ones who are mainly responsible to look after these kids who don't have parents.
Uma sizobhekana labantwana abangenabo abazali fune sibe nomoya ophansi sibe nothando sibe nesineke.
When we look after these kids, we should be patient, we should be loving, we should have endurance.
Ngoba uma uzokhuluma laba abantwana lontwana banozwela olumangalisayo.
When you speak to these kids, you find that they are very patient and they are loving.
Uma umama oqotho kofuza ukuthi uqale ngaye makunento ufuna ukuyenza ugcine ngowakho umntwana.
If you are a good mother, you sometimes start by caring for them instead of caring for your own kids.
Ngokwenze njalo lo mntwana usuke seyibona ukuthi na ubalekile lo mndeni. Futhi usuke sebona ukuthi awu kuthi mina ngithandwa kakhulu umama uthanda kakhulu mina kunalaba bakhe egcine seyibona seyilinga ilunga lomndeni.
By doing that, these kids, they feel welcome, they feel that they are more loved than the biological kids of their parents, and they feel that they are part of the family.
Ngoba ngeke ngasho ngathi okunyoza kwethu sebengikhavile kukhona ngifuna lokhu uphinda into eyodwa kodwa ebengifuna ukuphathisa le parliament elingaphambi kwami ngiphakamisela lihambe nesicelo esithi silapha e16 siyayidinga indawo yokugcina laba abantwana laba angenabo abazali hayi bona bodwa nalaba bengane zethu ezibashiyayo udedengu ihambe bese begcina sebedlwengula sibe nayo isenta yokubagcina labo bantwana.
I'm very happy that the parliament came to us, but we do need a place where we can keep these kids. We need a place that we can safely know that the kids are safe there and they are secure.
Sengizogcina kunalolu suku lethiwe labakhubazekile.
There's a day that we remember, the day of people who live with disability.
Kunabantwana futhi nabo abakhubazekile esesibenzele lolu siko lwabo kule organization yethu.
We have the kids that are living with disabilities that we have helped in our organization.
Uma sibabizela abantwana kube nezinto ezinye sifundayo kubona uma sebefikile.
When we call these kids, we find that sometimes we learn something from them.
Labantwana sesibona ukuthi bajabulela ukuba nabanye abantwana nanokuthi bayibone bese emphakathini bebona wonke umuntu kunokuthi bagcineke behleli emakhaya bevaleleke endlini.
We find that they are happy to be amongst their community, to be integrated with other kids who are normal. They become very, very happy.
Lokho kuze kusitshengisa ukuthi sibuka ukuthi labantwana abakujabulela ukuba nabanye abantwana bayithanda injabulo etholwa abantu abaphumela ngaphandle nje wabona ukuthi uma umfico umuntu ehlele endlini lokho kusinikeza ukuthi siyacela ukuba nayo futhi center yokuthi sigcine laba bantwana ngoba ukubona imase sibahambisile esesifune sibabuyisele emakhaya kade sibenzele umcimbi abebesafuna ukubuyela emuva.
We find that they become happy when they migrated into their community, and sometimes in the places we have a gathering for them, they become very happy, they enjoy. But when we have to take them back home where they are kept behind and are locked up, they don't want to go back because now it's a sad situation where they're going to go back to.
Lokho bese kuyasinikeza ukubona ukuthi bayathanda ukuba nathi bayathanda ukuba nabanye sefuna ukuzuqamba amanga ukuthi angizobuya ngizokulanda kusasa siyacela ukuthi sibe nayo isenta ukuthi behlale labantwana bazize behappy ngoba kuzokhisa imuzi nje nawe behappy bebone bonke abantu ngoba omunye ngathola ukuthi akakwazi ukukhuluma uma ebona abakhulumayo umuntu esekwawaza nawe ubona ukuthi kube abantu bahlala benesenta yabo ngabe khona sebekufundile ukuhamba umnyabo ongahambi ngabe ngibona isecathule lingisomunye siyacela ukuba nawo le center.
We want to have a center where they can stay and be happy, because sometimes when we fetch them from their families and we have a gathering and then you send them back, they are unhappy because now they have to go back to that situation they were under. Sometimes you find that the ones actually who can't even speak, by just being amongst other people, they start trying to speak, they are happy. So if we can have a center, that will be nice, because we end up lying to the kids and telling them that I'll come maybe tomorrow or next week to fetch you.
Ngiyabonga sengcina ngiyabonga iParliament lethu ukuthi lishiya ama-office liphume lize lakithi ebaqulusini lizogodola kanye nathi lizozwa izimvo zethu ezisibulala le phansi. Ngiyabonga.
Thanks to the Parliament for coming to us and being among us and be called together. Thank you very much to come and listen to us here in Abaqulusi. Thank you, ma'am. Say, where are you going?
Ngiyaxolisa angimange ngisasho ukuthi umthetho ngiyawusupporta noma akangiwusupport.
I just want to apologize because I forgot to say that do I support the amendment bill or I do not.
So I do support the bill.
Thank you very
Ngakho
much, sir.
ngiyawusekela lo mthetho.
Ngiyalibingelela iParliament nomphakathi waseZululand.
Greetings to Parliament members and also the community of Zululand.
Siyabonga kakhulu kwiParliament ukuthi lize kithina likhombisa ukuthi liyiParliament labantu nokuthi lilaphe likhona nje lisebenzela thina njengomphakathi usemazingeni aphansi.
We are grateful to have Parliament visit us. It really shows that it is a parliament of the people for us as the poor of the poorest.
Ngiwuxoliswa cele ngiphuma emnyangweni wezemfundo kodwa ngingaphansi kwa Ulundi local municipality.
Igama lami, my name is Oliswa. I come from Ulundi.
Ulundi local municipality from Department of Education. I-office lethu libizwa ngokuthi uMahlabathini CMC.
Our office is called Mahlabathini CMC. I'm from the Department of Education in Ulundi Municipality.
Mine will be very short.
Ngizoba mfushane kakhulu.
Ama-specifics amakhulu kakhulu ngoba abantu bakhuluma kakhulu ngo-ECD. Thina siwumnyango wezemfundo ikakhulukazi sithinteke kakhulu ngokuthi lapha eMahlabathini Olundi noma naseZululand iyonke asinazo izikole ezakhekile zeingane ezikhubazekile.
Most people talk about social development department. On the education side, we have a problem. We do not have sufficient schools for children living with disability.
Iy'kole zabakhubazekile ikakhulukazi nezikhona azinazo iy'ndawo ze-specialization. Ukwenza isibonelo, asinaso nje isikole okuthiwa isikole sabangaboni, isikole sabangakhulumi, though we have ama-specialists in those schools, kodwa akusizo zonke iy'kole ezinama-specialists.
Even though we do have a few of these schools, but they do not cater for certain disabilities. For example, we do not have a school that caters for people who are deaf or people who are blind.
Ikakhulukazi iParliament lethu kule Children's Amendment Bill lithe liqonde ukulekelela nokustrengthenisha livikele ingane ezibuthakathaka noma ezivulnerable.
This amendment bill seeks to strengthen and protect children that are vulnerable.
So vulnerability ikakhulu kakhulu sibona kuzo ingane ezikhubazekile njengomnyango wezemfundo.
We do see such vulnerability on those children who are living with disability, especially in terms of education.
Sizocela kakhulu iParliament ukuthi lisilekelele ukuthi libe nama funds abekwe eceleni ukuthi okungenani sakhelwe izikole zabakhubazekile eziproper, ama facilities ethu ingane zi overcrowded, and when you go to those facilities uthola ukuthi azikho izinto ezibhekelele labantwana ngokwehlukahlukana kokukhubazeka kwabo.
We request Parliament to ensure that funding is set aside to support the construction of proper schools that cater for children that are living with disabilities. Schools are crowded. There's not enough space there. We really do need proper facilities that are well suited to cater for the needs of these children.
Sike sibone uthola ukuthi sibona kwi-media emsakazweni na kwi-television uthola ukuthi kukhulunywa ngabantwana who are mentally ill or mentally disturbed. As a Department of Education, we know ukuthi specialization sakwa health, but as a Department of Education, sometimes in our facilities la kukhona khona ingane ezikhubazekile uthola ukuthi zikhona lezi ngane eziphazamisekile ngokomqondo, and we also need special assistance in as far as that one is concerned.
We see on the media, radio or television, they talk about children who are suffering mentally, and we know that that will be a problem that applies mostly to the Department of Health, but it also affects us in some way, because in our schools, as the Department of Education, we also do have children who are mentally disturbed.
Ukungabikho kwalezi ingxenye ezi-formal for ingane ezikhubazekile neziphazamiseke nangokomqondo kugcina kwenze ukuthi sibe nama-illegal centers akhiwayo emiphakathini wethu.
This lack of resources in order for us to be able to take care of such kids who are living with disability results in having a lot of illegal centers that would want to accommodate these children.
And kulama illegal centers uthola lezi ngane ziya abused sexually, uthola ukuthi zihleli nabantu abangaqeqeshiwe ukuyibhekela ngokwezidingo zazo, and uthola ukuthi abazali kwesinye isikhathi bakhetha ukuzisa kulezi ndawo ezingekho legal ngenxa yokuthi mhlambe babhekelela ukuthi mhlambe i-language of teaching and learning is English. Uyasazi thina abantu sibona sengathi lapho okukhulunywa khona isingisi lapho okunemfundo khona, singabheki ukuthi lezi ngane zinganakekelwa abantu abakhuluma ulimi lwethu, abanamasiko ethu nabalandela indlela eziformal ezistipulated iParliament ukuze izingane zethu zikhuliseke kahle.
In these illegal centers, children are being abused there, and they are also being taught by people who are not well trained, people who are not well capacitated. Sometimes you'd find that parents send their kids to those centers just because of the medium of teaching. You find that they use English there. There is that belief that if a person speaks English and you speak isiZulu, then that person is sort of better.
Lezi ingane zethu noma zingasekho kuma special schools nalezi ke eziku mainstream sinama cases amaningi kakhulu as u Department of Education awe rape ingane zethu ziyadlwengulwa ngendlela okwenzeka ngayo lezi ingane ama cases azo agcina eseklishwa traditionally kungayiwa kuma formal courts.
We are also faced with issue of rape in schools, not schools for disabled children, but even schools, mainstream schools. There are a lot of cases of rape there, and you find that these cases are solved in a traditional manner. They don't go to court.
So ngaleyo ndlela sithola sineyingane ezithi bezinempilo right, but because of rape izinga le rape emakhaya nokuthi as iParliament uma beningasiza uku-involve ama-traditional leaders ethu kule children's amendment bill kube nayo into esithi advocacy ezo-involve nama-traditional leaders working with us as the Department of Education and other departments.
We would want to request Parliament to have traditional leaders also involved in this initiative in terms of this bill. Let traditional leaders work in cooperation with the Department of Education in order for us to try and fight this scourge of rape.
Oza kwethu bakhulume kakhulu nge-issue yama undocumented learners uma iParliament lethu ngiyacabanga ukuthi liresponda noma lisabela ekutheni abantu badingani. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi leyo nto izokwenza ukuthi lezi ngane ezikuma ECD centers uma sesiyithatha sizifaka kwi-mainstream zibe zi-documented zinama birth certificates.
The issue of undocumented learners has already been touched on by previous speakers, but we really do hope that it will be fixed so that as kids move from ECD level to the mainstream schools, they are sorted, they do have their birth certificates and also IDs.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu kodwa nje ngicela ukugcizelela kaningi iParliament lethu bahlonishwa nisilekelele ekwakheni izikole zeingane ezikhubazekile njoba kade kuno COVID-19 nje the overcrowding in those schools isilimazile kakhulu yenze ukuthi eziningi izingane ezikhubazekile zibe ama drop outs ngoba mostly zihleli ngaphakathi kuma centers lawo and iCovid-19 bathelelana kalula ke ngayo. As a result saze sabona ukuthi abazali abayithathe ezinye bayiphungule to avoid ukuthelelana ngeCovid-19 because of overcrowding.
In conclusion, let me reiterate the point of construction of these schools that cater for children living with disability. These centers are very overcrowded. During these COVID times, we literally had to request that some other kids stay at home and not come, just to ensure that we follow these proper protocols of COVID-19, and most of the kids dropped out during that time.
As the Department of Education, Ulundi Municipality, Ngobasibi Local Municipality, we support the Children's Amendment Bill. Thank you.
As the Department of Education in the Ulundi local municipality, we support the amendment bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma, for educating us more to understand those people who are.
Siyabonga mama ngokuthi usifundise ngalabantwana abaphila nokukhubazeka nendlela efanele okumele baphatheke ngayo.
I think we have learned more from you.
Ngicabanga ukuthi sifunde lukhulu kuwena.
And then we had you. Thank you.
Sikuzwile, siyabonga.
Sanibonani. Sibingelela abahlonishwa phambili iParliamente.
Hayi khuluma njengobaba manje.
Yeah.
Ba uzwakala.
Sithi besacela ukubingelela phambili iParliamente labantu kuyintokozo enkulu nathi la Abaqulusini eBhekuzulu elokishini ukuthi sifikelwe iParliamente silibone ngamehlo sijwayele ukubabona ku television. Siyabonga.
I just want
Yes.
to thank you for bringing the parliament to us. We always see you on TV, so it's a privilege now that we can see you live and you have come to Abaqulusi.
Akushuthi bathupile ngempela iyasebenza siyabonga kakhulu.
That means the slogan that says people first or Batupili, it does work.
Yes. Igama lami nguSifiso akamtshali umfana nje wakhona la elokishini kuyona le ward esikuyo la ngoHlophe Street ngimele
My name is Sipo. I'm Sifiso.
Yes.
I'm from around, so I'm going to stand for an organization.
Abaqulusi community radio.
I stand for Abaqulusi Community Radio.
Ngizoqala ngisho lokho okungiphathe kabi kuqala bese ngiqhubeka nokuhle.
I would just mention what I do not like, and and after that I will state the good things that I like.
Yes, singabaqulusi community radio asitholanga ithuba lokuthi sikwazi ukuthi sisakaze live lo msebenzi omuhle olethwe iParliament ngenxa ukuthi asitholanga information ngesikhathi sokuthi sikwazi ukuthi siqophe live lento ukwazi nanomphakathi wala eBaqulusini namaphethela bangafinyelelanga ukuthi beze la ehholo bekwazi ukuthi belalele besemakhaya.
We didn't get a invitation that we will have you as the members, so that at the radio station we could broadcast and tell the community that you are coming, so that also the community can listen via our radio station.
Yes, besicela ukuthi mhlambe ngokulandelayo omasipala bethu ngoba ngibonile lapho ukuthi iZululand nabaqulusi ngathi bebe nolwazi besicela ukuthi besebenzise sumsakazo umphakathi sikwazi ukuthi ndlulise le information enhle kangaka emphakathini wethu esuthandayo.
We just want to ask the municipalities that are our municipalities that they should inform us next time, so that when we have such gatherings we can inform everyone and everybody can know that we'll have a meeting like this.
Yes. Esengikuzwile la ikhulumi eyithezeza la ngaphambili zakhuluma nje zonke engikutholayo phakathi kwazi ukuthi kune gap phakathi kwama department nomphakathi, so sikhona sumsakazelo umphakathi sibiza ngeACR ku 90.70 siyathanda ukuthi le gap part nendawo phakathi komphakathi nama department ka government sikwazi ukuthi sivale, kodwa ngeke sikwazi ukuyivala uma ama department engasebenzisani nathi somphakathi ne community radio.
We can see that actually there's a gap between the people and the municipality. If they do not work with us as the radio station, we will always have such gaps. So it will be good if they communicate with us so that we close that gap and people could be informed in time.
Yes, ngoba kuthiwa masifundiswa umsakazo mphakathi we're there to inform, educate and entertain.
Because as the radio station, when we start, we are told that we are there to educate and entertain.
Yes, siyathanda nathi sumsakazelo umphakathi ukuthi si-informe umphakathi wethu ngezinto ezenzakalayo ngoba bambe besibuza la emgaqweni ukuthi kwenzakalani ehall nathi asinalo ulwazi asazi sobaphendula sithini ngisho emsakazweni ekuseni nje ade ngenza uhlelo 6 to 9 kulolu hlelo lolu yilo lingenze ngeza la ehall because irate khona la ngibona imoto zila ngenza nohlelo luka Sunday school khona la khona kukhulunywa ngabantwana mangizokuthiwa kukhulunywa ngomthetho wabantwana ngaba nothando nami lokuzozwa.
So I didn't know, but I just saw the cars here and people around. They've been asking me, what is going on there at that wall? What's the meeting all about? So I was broadcasting this morning on about children, and if I was informed, then I would tell the community what the meeting is about.
Yes. Ebengithanda nje ukuthi ngikusho siyabonga kakhulu umthetho nami ngingomunye wabo abantwana bathe bakhuliswa ubaba engayedwana. So ngiyawubonga lo mthetho ukuthi ke no baba kanjalo kuthiwa abashadile sebengakwazi ukuthi bethole ilungelo lokuthi beyikhulisele izingane zabo mhlambe nami lelo thuba ngiyokwazi ukuthi ngilithole.
I'm thankful of the amendment law that actually include fathers that they can raise their children. Maybe I would get the same opportunity to raise my kids because I'm one of the kids who was raised by my father myself.
Yes. Ngikuthanda futhi ukubonga ukukhulu ukuthi le department emile ehlelela ngaphambili social development iyona yaziregister njenge NPO cause we community radio sinhlangano engenza inzuzo iyona yasiregister ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi size siapplyele nawo MDDA ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sithole funding yokuthi umsakazelo umphakathi ube khona siyabonga kakhulu nikwenze nakwabanye lokho.
We would like to thank the Department of Social Development because they are the ones who recognized us, who registered us as an NPO because we get no money at all. So we are thankful of them. What they did to us, they should also do it to others.
Yes, besicela ukuthi ke kule bill le esithe amendo besicela ukuthi mhlambe ne Department of Social Development khona la eBaqulusini ungakwazi ukuthi usondelane ne radio station sikwazi ukuthi mhlambe sibanikeze nama slot kuma show ahlukahlukene mhlambe bekwazi ukuthi beaddress umphakathi ngale bill le ngoba khona mhlambe abazosizakala abangakhonanga ukuthi bafike la nababengenalo ulwazi lokuthi kwenzakalani la eKingswell Hall.
We also want to say to the Department of Social Development, they should come to us, they should be closer to us, give us the bill so that we can tell the communities, especially because maybe others were not able to come to this meeting like this.
Sesisho na kuwo wonke nje ama department akhona la ngokuhlukahlukana wawo eKingswell Hall mhlambe nali parliament kwabanye ozawabo kwamanye ama department bewazisa ukuthi eBaqulusini ikhona i-community radio esondele kakhulu neduze nabantu ne-information ekwazi ukuthi gijime ngokusheshsha uma kanjalo bazisa nayo izokwazi ukuthi izinto zabo nabo isheshe be-department.
We also want to say to the Department of Social Development, to the Parliament as well, that here in Abaqulusi we have a radio station where we can broadcast, where we can tell the community so that people are well informed and it's fast track the informing of people. They can come to us and we can help them.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu nami ngiyayivuma le bill right ngoba nami ingifakile khona la ukuthi obaba nabo sebengayiphathela ingane zabo ngoba khona kahle siyakwazi ukuyiphathela ukuthi besibanjwe umthetho. Siyabonga kakhulu.
I want to thank you about the bill because we as fathers, we are able to look after our children, but because of the law, we were not given a chance to do that. but I do accept the amendment bill.
Thank you. Ngibiza mfana wami ngakubona ukuthi uzaba ubaba oqotho.
Thank you. I will call you my son because I can see that you can be a great father.
Thank you so much. Nizile
Siyabonga
ma
kakhulu.
department yethu ye social development.
The Department
Uthi
of,
naba abantwana bethu bathi iminyango ivuliwe.
as the social department, probably you have heard that our kids, they are saying to you, their doors are open, you are welcome to work with them.
Isebenziseni ke. Thank you.
Use that opportunity. Thank you.
Sanibonani.
Sawubona baba.
Igama lami nguHloniphani wakamyeni osuka
Sondela kancane
oqhamuka
emic-ini, baba.
Othandweni Community Care and Support Center.
My name is
Can you
Hloniphani.
see mic baba? Can
I
you see
come
the mic?
from Othandweni Community Care Center.
Asivanga na kahle ngoba ubhekele emic-ini.
We did not hear you properly due to the fact that the mic was a bit lower.
Yebo ma. Igama lami nguHloniphani wakamyeni oqhamuka Othandweni Community Care and Support Center.
My name is Hloniphani Mieni from Othandweni Community Care and Support Center.
Okokuqala bengisacela ukubonga ithuba labahlonishwa ukuthi befike lapha endaweni esikwazi ukuxoxa ngalo lolu daba.
Firstly, let me offer my gratitude to have parliament members come and visit us.
Ubhuti njengoba besayithintile obaba bengisacela ukuyiqhubeza kancane.
The previous speaker has already touched on the issue of fathers. Let me just add on that.
Ikona i-issue la khona eqhamuka khona uma kufanele umzali ethathe isitifiketi somntwana.
There is a problem when we have to acquire a certificate, a birth certificate for a child.
Ubaba maye kuyena kufanele mhlawumbe ingane ithathe ngesibongo sakhe kube nesimo la sokufanele athathe khona i-DNA sometimes.
There is a situation when if it is a father who have to apply for a certificate on behalf of a child, they need a DNA.
Sometimes lokho kuyekufike nala khona abazali bexabana khona mhlawumbe kube isimo sokuthi fanele kube negama kanjalo thola ukuthi DNA imali makufikwa lapha.
DNA is money to confirm through DNA, that is money. And then especially when there are conflicts between parents.
Ngocela nami ngokunxusa ngimncinyane ngimngaka bengicela noma ngifisa umnyango ngakwazi ukuthi uma sekufika kulezi igaba zoma DNA kube nezibonelo noma kube nendlela okwazi ngayo ukulekelela obaba abangasebenzi noma la khona ukubonala khona ukuthi isimo sifisekala ukuthi silungiswe ngaleyo ndlela.
My request is that those fathers who do not have money to pay for DNA are supported financially.
Ngoba esikhathini esiningi kube sekuhlukumezeka umntwana sike saba ne case la khona umntwana kufanele khona enzelwe isitifiketi akakwazanga ukwenzela isitifiketi ngenxa ukuthi ubaba washona yize shonile ubaba kunesibonelelo somntwana kufanele siphume umama wamshiya umntwana kugogo sekufanele kwenziwe isitifiketi manje sekuneyinkinga manje ngoba umama uthi ayibuye ingane kuyena whereas umama akaza ayikhulisa ingane.
We've had a problem when the grandparent had to get a certificate for a child. The father of a child had passed on. The mother of a child had abandoned the child. She was nowhere to be found. Now that we have to get a certificate for a child, she is calling for a child to be brought to her. Why now? Because she has never been there for this child.
Ngidlule ngize esigabeni sezitandane.
Let me move on to the issue of orphans.
Khona lapha engithinteka khona uma umntwana esekhulile wafika esigabeni sika 18 ehlala mhlambe ngithi kwi foster noma ebhekile kosonhlala kahle.
This becomes a problem when the child, an orphan, has grown up. Perhaps she or he has reached 18 years while still living in the shelter or at a foster care home.
Kuye kube nesigaba ke la khona sephuma sekufanele akhule emphakathini. I-transition ephakathi kwalapho kuye kube likhunyana kwabaningi thola ukuthi usuzobathola manje sebesebenzisa izidakamizwa ngenxa yokuthi ekuqaleni bebe ngaphansi kwesandla sikahulumeni noma endlini la khona abakwazi ukukhuselwa khona sebeyaphuma ke manje sebeya emphakathini. Uma ephuma lo muntu emphakathini indawo yokulala ubani ozowenza isiqiniseko njengala aphuma khona ukuthi udlile uyaqoka kwenzakaleni. Ngokufisa kwami nangokucela kwami sibonelelo sokuthi mhlawumbe ngathiwa khona indlela abakwazi ngayo uqikelela ukuthi uma sebephuma noma ngokweminyaka yabo sebadedela ifoster kube ukuthi banezinto abakwazi ngazo ukuyisebenzisa njengeyikili kanje ukuthi bekwazi ukuqhubeka nempilo bekwazi ukuyiphumelelisa bebodwa.
When they are released, these orphans are released from foster care, that transition period becomes a difficult one because now they are going back to community and they've got no one to look after them, to guide them as they were being guided while they were at foster care. So my request is that these people, these orphans, are helped and trained and skilled, capacitated, so that when they go out there to society, they are able to sustain themselves.
Noma ngabe mhlambe kuyakwazeka mhlambe iminyaka ithi xaxa kubona ukuze bekwazi ukuthi bephume evasitho okungcono bese beyakwazi ukuyibonela.
At least maybe the years could be added so that they only leave the foster care after they've done varsity, when they can now be able to stand on their own 2 feet.
Kube isigaba sokugcina engifisa ukuthi sithinteke ngoba into esingesikwazi ukuyijika. Emhlabeni sesiphila kuyo noma emphakathini esiphila kuyo sesinabantu abaphila ngokuzwana nohlanga olulodwa nani. So bengifisa ukuba umnyango ungakwazi ukuthi nakhona kubantwana uma bekhuliswa siuqede lento noma siqede le stigma esithi kunegama ekuthiwa isitabane elingasafuneki. Lokho kudala udlame nasemphakathini abantu mabekhula njengoba baba bethu babekhula bethi inkonkoni bekhula bewabiza ngawo wonke amagama bebahlukumeza. Let's raise a generation ezokhuli understand ukuthi it's okay if somebody ekanje, it's okay if law ezwana nomuntu ekanje. Ngiyabonga.
The last issue that I would want to comment on is that of people dating people of the same sex. We live in a community where such a norm is now accepted. So let us train people and now try to do away or abolish these derogatory terms that we normally use in society to refer to these people as gays and lesbians. There are those derogatory terms that are being used to refer to such people. Let's train other people to accept and embrace diversity and say that it is okay if another person is different from you.
Lokho kwethu bengifisa nakukusala bengifisa ngene ebantwaneni at a young age nakubona.
This should be instilled to children at a very young age.
Yebo, ngalokho ngiyavumelana ne-amendment. Ngiyabonga.
I accept and support this amendment bill.
Siyabonga baba.
Thank you.
Hayi baba ungahambi kaloku kusezowuphendulwa lokhu kuphakamisile.
Sir, please do not leave. They are still going to answer your questions since you raised a question.
Sanibonani.
Greetings.
Sakubona ma.
Igama lami uThabile wakwaZulu. Nongoma.
My name is Tabile Zulu. I'm from Nongoma.
Ngiqhamuka kwi-organization ebizwa Othandweni Community Care and Support Center.
I'm from the organization that is called.
Uye kudeni kakhulu.
You are from
Khulume
far.
konke lokho kuphethe.
Siyabonga kakhulu ngeParliament lethu eliyelehla leza kithi ukuze sikwazi ukuzwakalisa izimvo zethu ngomthetho ochibiyelwayo wabantwana.
We are thankful of the parliament that came to the people so that we can say our input or voice out our concern, the amendment bill about the children.
Ngaphandle kokuchitha isikhathi okuningi sekukhulunyiwe iphakamiso eziningi seyiphumile kodwa obekuyisicelo sami kwiParliament lethu elokuthi uma imithetho ishawa noma ichitshiyelwa ibe khona indlela yokuqinisekisa ukuthi iyasebenza.
I'm very thankful of the bill, and because others who came prior to me, they've already said some of their points. But what I just want to emphasize is that if there are laws or acts or bills that are made, there should be an assurance that these bills and laws are complied with.
Lokho ngizokucela kakhulu ukuthi sengathi iParliament lethu belingabhekisisa kakhulu ngaseyisebenzini kahulumeni okuyizona ezisuke inikezwe isibophezelo sokuthi ziqinisekise ukuthi imithetho eshawa uhulumeni iyabasiza kakhulu abantu.
I would like to ask the parliament to look at the matter, especially the members of government, people who work for the government, to make sure that they enforce or emphasize the law that should be used among their communities.
Uma ngizobheka nje lapha yamasikhuluma ngomthetho welungelo lobaba lokuthi obaba banelungelo nabo einganeni kakhulu sibheka inkinga la yokuthi kule district yethu yaseZululand sineyingane eziningi engenazo izitifikethi zokuzalwa ngenxa yomama aba-abuse ilungelo abanikezwa lokuba ibona abaphethe ingane.
Especially in the matters of fathers, that now the fathers can also have a share in making sure that the kids have the certificate, because only the mothers have been given the opportunity. And you find that some women actually, they abuse the kids. They don't treat them in a good manner.
Bese uma kufanele ingane ithola certificate bese kuba ukuthi umama uyanqaba nje ukuthathela ingane certificate ngoba efuna nje indlela yokulwa nobaba egcineni kosuku kuhlukumezeke ingane bese uthola ukuthi eminyangweni okubona obhekelela ukuthi ingane ithola certificate akulukho abangalwenza ukuphoqelela umama ukuthi ingane ikwazi ukuthola certificate. Ubaba ukhona umama ubaleka nje ngoba engafuni ukuthi ubaba athole ilungelo lokuthi asupport ingane yakhe.
Sometimes you find that some women, they don't want to help the kids. Sometimes they have a conflict or fights among themselves as partners, and the poor kid is the one that who will suffer. So at the end of the day, the departments that are supposed to help us are not able to help because they don't know exactly what to do because of the mother who doesn't want to help.
Bese kuzoba kumthetho lo weingane ezizindandane ezisuke zibekwe zifanele ukuthola ama-foster noma ithola ama-foster parent. Bengingacela ukuthi uhulumeni kube khona indlela yokwenza ukuthi isheshe leyo process ngoba leyo ngane isuke kunenkinga kodwa siyasibona ukuthatha isikhathi eside noma ngabe baqhamukile abantu abathi na ingane ingasizakala kodwa isikhathi sibe side.
And on the matter of orphans, if maybe that act could be fast-tracked, because sometimes you find that we have a challenge, sometimes it takes a long time before we can be able to help the kid.
Leyo ke ibuyele ekuthenini uhulumeni eseyishayile imithetho bese inga-implementeki ngoba uyuthole kwesinye isikhathi ukuthi kusuke kune-challenge mhlambe ka-social development abanazo iy'moto zokuyosebenza abakwazi ukuphuma baye emakhaya ukuze bathole ama-reports bese uyibuza-ke ukuthi kanti uhulumeni usholeni ukuthi akwenzeke lokhu uma futhi ababekela ukuthi bakwenze bengezukwazi ukusebenza ngenxa yama-resources.
Sometimes we have a challenge maybe in the department, like Department of Social Development, where they will tell you that they have a challenge, they don't have enough resources or capacity to help the people.
Bese kuzothi okugcina kulomthetho wokushadiswa kweingane. Ngiyafisa futhi ukuthi uma kuwumthetho oshawe uhulumeni kube umthetho ozosebenza kuwo wonke umuntu. Kungabi ukuthi umthetho ozosebenza ngokuthanda kwalowo muntu.
And on the act that speaks about the forced marriages on children or kids, it should work on everybody. It shouldn't just work on people who like to use the law. It should be enforced to everyone. They should comply by that law.
Isibonelo, uma kuwukuthi umthetho uthi ayikho ingane enelungelo lokushada uma ingakafiki 18 noma ino 16 years. Lo mthetho usebenze ngokuthi akekho umuntu ongakwazi ukushadisa ingane eno 16 years. Kungabi ukuthi ngoba lezi ingane ziyathanda ukushada zino 16 kusho ukuthi zingashada. Kusho ukuthi umthetho lapho kukhona la odedela khona ngoba ingane mayisino 16 siyacabanga ukuthi singakwazi ukuyithathela isinqumo. So umthetho uma kuwukuthi ngeke ishade ingane no 16 noma ngabe ziyathanda ayikwazi ukushada uma zino 16.
And on the matters of forced marriages, it should be complied on. The law should work on people, especially when kids are still under 16. They shouldn't be married, even if the kids want to get married at that point, because sometimes they would love to be married to someone. That law should still work on them.
Angibongeke kakhulu imithetho echibiyelayo siyayimukela kakhulu and siyabonga kakhulu kwiParliament lethu sengathi kungaqhubeka kanje nangezinye ikhathi uma kunemithetho sikwazi ukuba nesithuba lokusho esikubonayo ngoba umthetho usushayiwe mhlawumbe umusuya phansi kubantu kufike kungabi njengoba umthetho ushayiwe mhlawumbe siphinde silithole ithuba lokuthi sisho ukuthi ayi sawuvuma lo mthetho kodwa mase sifanele uimplementa uimplementeki.
I would like to thank the Parliament for coming to us, giving us an opportunity, coming with the amendment bill, telling us about it. So I would like to say the law should be done and it should be emphasized that the law should be kept and it should work on people. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Sanibonani.
Greetings.
Igama lami nginguthokozile ngokwabuthelezi.
My name is Thokozile Buthelezi.
Ngiphuma endaweni ekubhalwe ukuthi ikusasa labo disabled care center.
I come from the Ikusasa Labo Disabled Care Center.
Umqondisi walolu hlelo ubeseshilo ukuthi singabe sayiphinda into injengoba injalo.
The chairperson has already warned against repeating what has already been stated.
Kodwa ke ebengikucela kubili nje kuphela.
My request is on 2 points only.
Ukuthi uma senifikile njengeParliament kithi sibonga kakhulu ukuthi nizolalela izimvo zethu.
We are grateful that you are here as Parliament to listen to our concerns.
Engifuna ukugcizelela kakhulu nengicela kube umphako ukuthi besicela umnyango wakwa DSD ukhophula amasokisi ngoba akusebenzeki.
We request that the Department of Social Development pull up their socks because we are unable to function.
Ngikushiso yini ke lokho ngishiso ukuthi singamehlo sizindlebe zomnyango
The reason why I say that is because we are eyes and ears of the department.
Uma sesihambile sayobheka sabona umntwana ukuthi njengoba ekulesi simo kudinga ukuthi umnyango ungenelele bese umnyango udraga uhlehlele emumva kube sengasazathi manje asiyazi into esikhuluma ngayo.
Sometimes we become aware that a certain child needs attention, but then you see that the department is moving away instead of coming forward and coming close to assist. And then when we report that, we become like people who don't know what they are talking about.
Ngikushiso ukuthi nje akukudala sikhona la kule area kunendawo la ela khona la kule section khona la eBhekuzulu ebizwa ngokuthi isema 300.
We've not been here for a long time. We are around here in Beguzulu in a place called Ama 300.
Sathola umntwana osano 12 years old akazayi esikoleni.
We found a child who is 12 years old, but she has never been to school.
Lo mntwana uyagada.
She is crawling.
Njengabantu abasebenza ngabantwana abasevere disabled kubiza ukuthi lo mntwana akeze kuthina sikwazi ukumdlulisela ekuthini nakathola usizo.
As we work with children who are living with disability, that child, we view that child as a severely disabled child. She needs help. She must come to us so that we can refer her to where she might get help.
Yingakho ke ngithi umnyango awukhuphula amasokisi ngoba uma thina sesimbonile ukuthi lo mntwana at the age of 12 akakwazi ukuhlala ekhaya kuyilungelo lo mntwana ukuthi akafunde.
That is why I'm saying the department must pull up its socks, because now we can't have a 12-year-old sitting at home and not going to school.
Futhi umntwana akakwazi ukuhlala endaweni enjengaleyana engayi esikoleni ezobe ecrawla edraya indawo yonke ecrawla engakwazi ukuhamba.
Such a child cannot be housed at a place like that, crawling the whole day in the yard like that.
Okuwukuthi mangithi umnyango akakhuphula amasokisi ngisho ukuthi umnyango awumsondeza umntwana awumsondeza umama umntwana ukuze umntwana ngizothini ukuze umzali athole indlela ethe uqina mayelana nokuthi umntwana akathola ukusizakala.
Let the department bring the parent of this child closer so that they can guide the parent as to how the child can find help.
Nokuthi ke umzali abese ezizenzela ngemali yomntwana.
And the issue of parents who are misusing children grant.
Uma usuthi yalandelela ukuthi yomcheck umntwana ukuthi kwenzakaleni ngomntwana uphi semgudlulile akasekho lapho.
And then when you try to do a follow-up in order to investigate, you find that the child has been moved to a different location.
Kanti umnyango ubisheshile wakwazi ukumlandelela umama umntwana ukuthi uyawenza yini lokho besithe akakwenza ubezokwazi ukumthola engakamthathi umntwana.
Had the department acted swiftly in order to follow up, they would have been able to find facts before the parent moves the child away.
So that is why ke ngithi ukuba umnyango ngempela owa social development awukhuphula amasokisi ngoba akusebenzeki ngempela ngoba uma usuthathile indaba wayibeka kubona usukuqonde ukuthi mina anginawo amandla ukuthi ngingathi lo mzali akaphucele imali ngoba akakwenzi lokho uqondene nomntwana.
That is why I emphasize the fact that the department must pull up its socks, because once we take the matter to the department, that shows that we are unable to handle it anymore. So we expect them to take over and assist onwards.
Okulandelayo ke engifuna ukugcizelela la ile role kamasipala.
And also the municipality role.
Ngiyafisa kakhulu ukugcizelela endabeni ukuthi umasipala kangenelele ngoba ngeke sithi siphethe abantwana abaseviye bese siyavalela ugesi.
Let the municipality intervene, because we cannot have these power cuts while we are looking after children who are severely disabled,
Ekubeni singanayo funding.
while we do not have funding.
Ngimzwile umqondisi mayethi lolu daba uzodlulisela na kwimasipala, although imeya bekuzoba mnandi ukuba ibikhona.
I heard the chairperson when she said she will pass on these concerns to the municipality, but it would have been great to have the mayor present in this hearing.
Ngoba kwesisikhathi uma into ingancinzi wena vele uyithathela ekudeni.
Because sometimes if something doesn't affect you, you seem to take it lightly.
Ukusho kalula nje ukuthi phuma niyofuna usizo kuma private sector.
It becomes easy for you to just say, go out there to the public sector to seek assistance.
Uma imeya izofika izonivakashela kwi special care center ibise ifika ingaphethe ngisho isigaqa sekhabishi bisithi izobuya ibuye igcine ngabuyanga yikho lokho sekubangela ukuthi ke sithi ke imatter ayedluleke iye eminyangweni kwi-department noma kwinxaminto sekwi-parliament.
Sometimes you'd see a mayor visiting these care centers empty-handed, not having even a cabbage in his hand. And then that is why we say maybe we should just go straight to the department.
Ngolwazanyana lwami oluncane ngiyazi ukuthi there is a mayoral's budget. Ukuthi nje akaqhamuke mhlambe negrosa ka 500 rand ukuthi ngiyazi le ndawo ayifandiwe. Kodwa angeke azabuye. Sekuphela iminyaka umeya wafika waqhaqhazela kuphela. Akangenza lutho ukuthi ena abuye azosiza laba abantwana.
According to my little knowledge, I know that there is a budget that is set aside for the mayor, but you don't even see him coming with 500 rands groceries. He just comes empty-handed to visit us.
Ngalelo gama ngicela ukubonga kakhulu iParliament ukusivakashela. Ngiphinde ngisho ukuthi konke lokho okuvela la siyakusupporta.
Thank you to Parliament members for visiting us. I support the amendment bill.
Ishwa lelo ukuthi asiphathanga necabbage kwathina laba.
It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that we do not have a cabbage for you.
Okay, thank you very much. Uyasifundisa lokho ukuthi siphathe noba sispinach noba ligaqa le orange.
Thank you very much. This actually teaches us that we also should bring in maybe cabbage or some oranges for you.
Sanibonani.
Sawubona ba.
Ngithuzanayo Mike ngaqala ukukhuluma ku Mike Nkosi.
Asikuva baba.
Ngithuzanayo Mike ngaqala ukukhuluma ku Mike Nkosi.
Oh. Hey, it's a great day to you, eh?
Hayi kakhulu.
Usuku olukhulu.
Kufanele sishaye izandla ke manje.
We should applaud for you.
Umuntu asho nje up front ukuthi uyaqala ukukhuluma kwi mic.
A person saying up front that it's the first time they speak on the mic.
Okay.
Niyaphila. Oh mina ngigama lami ngosithembiso Zulu.
My name is Tembiso Zulu.
Ngibuya le eDumbe.
I'm from Dumbe.
Port Petersburg, Ward 4, under Majuba.
In Ward 4.
Yebo, lana ngizothanda ukuthi ngisho ukuthi bengenza learnership esikoleni bathi kujabuleni ngoba sine access elula for ma wheelchair.
I would like to thank you, especially in our schools, because we have easy access now for people who move out with wheelchairs.
Yes, lana bengenza ngene eklasini ngisize lapha. Manje challenge enkulu engiyibonayo ngicela ukuthi kube compulsory ukuthi abothisha bonke benze special course.
Can it be compulsory that all the teachers must do the special course? Because now at least I can get into school with my wheelchair, I have easy access.
Ngoba phela abantwana ungasho nje ukuthi umbone physical ukuthi hayi lo right, but mase ufika lapha slow learn izinto enjalo and noma ungathi uyambiza umzali uyalo ukuthi no ayimusa kuba special school.
Because sometimes you can look at the kid and think they are fine, but only to find out when they are in class, you realize that they are slow learners, and sometimes when you call the parents, you find that it is a challenge.
Ngibonge lapha. Bese ke siya lana ke kuma kithi kubantu abane-disability. Sinawo ama-business for example, nginemoto, imoto nginayo ikhotha Toyota Cota, but usually thina siqashwa ngoba namanje size ngekhotha omunye umuntu singatshelanga lutho.
I want to talk about the matters of people living with disabilities. We have companies, and like me, I have a car, but right now I came with a quantum of somebody who was hired. We are not given any business as people living with disabilities.
Bengicela njengamabomu Parliament ngeyi-3 ngicela ukuthi niyifake yami ngiyanicela.
To the municipality, I just want to ask them to put in my car as well.
AyokwaZulu umntwana uyabonga.
Thank you very much.
Ayisenkingeni la.
We are
Sisenkingeni
in
kabi
trouble
kodwa ke
here.
sizwile and we
we-
all understand lezi zinto
We
bazitshoyo.
heard you and we understand your concerns.
Okay. Amagosa akwa social development abaze indlebe ngoba bazaba la suku on the 3rd. Bakhulume leza zinto bezikhulunywe kulonyaka ngapha kwalophelile. Bashiye. Baphinde futhi babuye kunyaka olandelayo nge-International Day. Bakhulume leziya zama-ramps, zama-transport, zani zokuthi i-percentage yabantu aphila nokhubazeko bathola ukuthi sesezansi abakaqashi. So niyayalezwa ke ngoku ningabuyi nalezanto zindala za 3 years back. Nibuye nezifresh angithi utsho baba. Nitsho ukuthi nihambe namakuphi. Siyathemba ke mphathi wabo umbhexeshi wabo unothile and uzawubona ukuthi uyiphendula kanjani leyo nto.
To all social development officials who are here, we trust that you heard and you will be able to offer responses accordingly. When the 3rd comes, don't come with old stuff that has not yet been sorted out completely, even on the International Day. Come with new stuff now. Ensure that all the responsibilities that you ought to have taken care of in the past, that has already been completely taken care of, and come with new stuff. We hope that your leader is here. She will or he will ensure that you come with new stuff.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Ungaqhubeka ke mama.
Sanibonani.
Greetings.
Siyabonga kakhulu kwiParliament elize la kwibhekezolo Abaqulusi igama lami ngobusisiwe wakwaNkosi from Ward 1. Inhlangano engihamba ngayo i-Success Day Care Center.
My name is Busisiwe Nkosi from Ward 1 here in Abaqulusi Municipality. Uteka malinhlangano yakho yini?
Success Daycare Center.
I come from Success Daycare Center.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Engifisa ukusho okuningi sekukhulunyiwe. Kodwa ngiyafisa ukuthi ngibuyele emuva kancane, especially njoba sikule nhlangano yase Success Daycare Center.
I have been covered on more points, but I would like to go back a little.
Yes. So sibongile nje ngokuthi sesayithola igrant, especially njengoba sikwi-care center, but i-problem yethu esikhale ngayo kakhulu ile conditional grant.
Thank you for the fact that we have received grant as a daycare center, but we are having a problem in terms of a conditional grant.
Yes, i-conditional grant iyenza ukuba singakhoni ukwenza umsebenzi ngendlela efanele, and engifisa ukukusho nje ukuthi sigcina sistika endabeni yokudla kuphela, singakwazi ukuthenga izinto like amaphaki, ama-toys for ingane, izinto eziningi nje. So nje lokho, yes.
This conditional grant hinders us from performing our functions completely or successfully because it only limits us to food. We can only buy food. We are unable to buy other resources like toys and stuff like that for children.
Ngiyabonga. Okunye engifisa ukukhuluma ngakho mayelana nendaba le iyabazala abangenawo ama IDs, especially kulabo abasuka eSwaziland.
And also the issue of parents who do not have IDs, especially those who come from Swaziland.
Yes. Ngino educator okhona lapha e-crèche ongenayo ID.
I have an educator in my crèche. She does not have an ID.
Inkinga ukuthi uphuma from ngale and uno matric akakwazi ukuthola even i-certificate sakhe saka matric.
The problem is that she comes from the other side and she only has matric, but she is unable even to get a matric certificate.
Yes. And okunye futhi unomntwana. So njengoba anomntwana so kuphoqa ukuthi kumele ayothathela umntwana wakhe certificate ngobaba wakhe.
Another thing is that she has a baby. Now that she has a baby, the situation forces her to use the father in order to get a certificate for this baby.
Yes, to get a grant.
In order for the baby to get grant.
Yes. So after that, kube ne problem yokuthi bagcine be separate yena no baba wengane.
Another issue is that they have now separated with the father of the baby.
And after ubaba wengane seyagijima seyakwasasa uyovala ikhadi because umntwana uhola nge-ID yakhe.
After that, the father ran to SASSA to stop the card because the child is getting grant. Okay, because now the child was registered at SASSA by his father's surname.
Yes. So leyo case leyo uzamile ukuthi singenelele ukumsiza even u-DSD social work kodwa kuthiwa ukuthi akasizakali.
We tried to intervene. We also called on the social development department to assist, but to no avail.
Manje futhi yena lo educator wami usenenye ingane uyakubona ukuthi uyayibona ukuthi le nkinga iyaqhubeka yokuthi asafari ngesizathu se-ID.
Now the educator has got another baby now. Now you can see that the problem continues.
Mamela Gemma, uzokubopha u-educator lo misa ngayo.
Okay.
Fanele le nkinga yakho besitshila ukuthi lezi zinto zi-sensitive ongenazo ukuthi bra uye lapha etafileni.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yabona ke?
The educator is going to pursue litigation for what you are doing now.
Okay.
This is a sensitive matter. You can just go to staff members there. They will be able to assist you.
No, I understand. ukuthi inkinga ile ID eyenza ukuthi ngizama uku-explaina kanje.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
Seyikhulunyiwe inkinga yama
Yes.
IDs
Yes.
ane-challenge.
So sicela nisilungisele kakhulu ngoba i-sensitive kakhulu.
Please help us.
Imake, ucela senzele bani i-ID, u-educate.
Umza lo osebenza khona lapha kwi.
Lo uye Swatini,
Yes.
lo ongasiwa la.
Oh. Akasizakala. It's more than 10 years ala.
Okay.
Yes.
Athi ke sidlule kancane uyise lapha etafuleni lenkingi.
Please
Ngoba
submit.
noba une 20 years ifasiwa la siwa la.
Please make a submission to staff members at the table so that they can see how the educator can be assisted. She is from Swaziland. You say that she's been here for more than 10 years, but please just write your submission and send it to members of staff at the table.
Or foreigner baya abanonhlalo pha ngemuva. You can go to any one of labanonhlalo baphaya. They will advise you and bakutshela indlela ukuthi kungenzeka kanjani.
Okay.
Fanele
Ungaya
sibophe
kunoma yini.
nawe kodwa uyabona wena uthatha abantu abangasila abangekho ready. Siyakubopha nawe.
Okay.
Nanga amaphoyisa pha ngemuva.
We must also take you to court for wanting to help people who come from other countries.
Okay. Okay.
All right, ke qhubekeka ma.
Siyabonga. And then okunye esicela ukuthi sisizakale ngakho umasipala siyacela ukuthi umasipala akangenelele especially kuma ECDs. Ngoba kuma ECDs njengoba utholakala ukuthi sukukhona sikutholayo sine problems ama toilet everything ukuthi uma ngabe siya kumasipala ukuthi sicela usizo siyacela ukuthi ama councillors even umasipala angenelele kakhulu.
Please get the municipality to intervene and assist us at the ECDs, especially with the problem of ablution facilities. We are not getting help and we really do need help.
Okunye futhi sicelayo sicela ama training as njengoba silaphaya siyayithola abantwana aba different ngizwile nje okhulumile obhodi nomunye okhulumile la ngama disability. Okunye siyayisikuthole lapha ku community thola ukuthi kunomntwana vele otholakala ukuthi uza ngendlela ezihlukene so siyayicela I training kakhulu lapha ngoba sithola.
Yeah, wena uzo change le meeting uba ibe yinkonzo yezicelo.
You want to change this hearing to a platform of services request.
Yabona ke lenkonzo yanamhla yezicelo. Siyacela ukuthi ungayichange uyenze izicelo zodwa. Mara lezi zinto zikhulumayo ne some of them azinidi even if uzitsho yona le ndaba yaka masipala infrastructure asibizi ma toilet sibiza yonke infrastructure. Siyazi ukuthi fanelekile umasipala anincede mara if ni registered le site yenu and also niyile kuyena nayo ucela ngoba sizamnikeza ukuthi so and so ucela ka so and so ucela this and that and that.
Your matter will be referred to the municipality because it has to do with mainly infrastructure. So the municipality can help you with that. But please do not change this meeting to a services request meeting.
Yabona ke u raise into ezibalekile ngiyabona ukuthi lapha yakho uyaxoxwa kancane ngale ndaba yakho. Ubasizile.
Even other people are discussing this issue of yours amongst themselves now at the back there.
Siyabonga kakhulu Amanda Parliament.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We support the amendment. here.
Animshayela izandla ngoba ngathi unisizile.
Let's give her a round of applause.
All right, so ngowokugcina umane siyazwana kuleyo ndaba musi. Okay, so that nisincedise ke I-department be ready mphathi wabo zaboba ke nabo bayazazi points zabo.
So the lady will be the last one to speak, so the department can be ready and you can tell your colleagues and advise them who will answer the questions that have been raised.
Nginibingelela nonke endlini.
Greetings to everyone.
Gama lami nguCebile ngwakamhlongo lisuka kwi-organization ekuthiwa iqhubulwazi youth organization.
My name is Cebile Mhlongo. I'm from the organization
Qhubulwazi Youth Organization.
The organization which is called Qhubulwazi.
Yes, it's a Mondlo and it's an HIV-based organization.
It's in Mondlo. It's HIV-based organization.
Yebo nami ngizothi siyawubonga umthethosisekelo siyawuvumela ngoba ngiyawubona ukuthi vele izinto okhuluma ngazo uyasithinta nathi kakhulu njengabantu abasebenza ngeingane ngama offices to be specific, so ngiyawuphathisa nami umthethosisekelo kodwa ngithanda ukukhuluma
We support the amendment bill. We are thankful of the bill because it speaks about the things that concern us as well.
Ngicela ukuphawula kakhulu kulela point le funding. I-organization yami engisuka kuyo ifundiwe yes and siyawubonga uDSD ngalokho.
I just want to speak about the matter of funding. My organization has been funded. We want to thank DSD about that.
Yes, engicela ukuphawula nje ngoba sengishilo ngathi ngiyayibonga ifunding. Ama items afundiwe yes ayawakhavara wonke ama daily operations.
The items that we are funded for, they cover all the daily operations.
But inkinga esinayo ukuthi ayisivumeli noma ayisiphi imali yokwakha sinenkinga yama structures.
But the problem is that we don't have enough money to have a structure. It doesn't allow us to build a structure.
Njengamanje ibudget yethu ine item yokuthi sirente isivumela only ukuthi sirente noma sithenga ama park homes sisebenzele kuona.
Our budget only allows us to rent
or ukuthi sithenga ama park homes
or maybe to buy the park homes.
Yes, issue ngama park homes uma kufika istorm ayaphephuka ayavandalizeka ayaphephuka bese kudingakala ukuthi naku financial le elandelayo siphinde sizame ukuthola enye meaning sisebenzele emuva ke makunjalo.
But these structures they get worn out quickly and now we work like we are doing the same thing over and over again.
Bese kwi issue yokurenta uthola ukuthi siyarenta kwaMkhize after 6 months useyafika umnikazi waMkhize useyaskipha usorenso wendlu umnikazi wendlu besihlala kuyona useyabuye eGoli for example sekumele siphinde sithuthe siyofuna ukurenta kwenye indawo and leyo nto igcina yenza ukuthi ama services ethu as iNPO begcine eba unaccessible kumphakathi ngoba sigcina sigxuma and each and every time kumele siyimarket emphakathini sesingapha ke manje.
So the problem is of renting. Sometimes we'll be renting, for instance, from somebody who's called Mr. Mkize, for an example, and at the end of the day, the owner of the house comes back from Johannesburg, and now we have to move to one place to another, so that becomes a challenge.
Yes, so I know ukuthi ke angeke kuze kube yinto ya overnight ukuamendwa kwe-budget.
I know that the amendment of the budget cannot be something that is done overnight.
But siyacela nje ukuthi besizamela ukuthi besiedele iitem yokuthi besiphi imali yokwakha.
If they can add on their budget that they can build a permanent structure for us, we want to ask them for that.
Bese kuba i-issue yokuthi kuyenzeka komunye unyaka uthola ukuthi u-underspendekile kwi-budget ebesinayo, of which I know is totally wrong.
Sometimes in some years we underspend the budget money, which I know is totally wrong to underspend.
Yes, but kuyenzeka ngenxa yezathu ezithile, like for example last year ngo-2020
it does happen sometimes because last year in 2020
bekune lockdown, there are some items angakwazanga ukwenzakala abudgeteliwe, for example ama awareness ngenxa yokuthi bebengakhona abantu ukuhlangana.
For instance, some of the things that are budgeted for, like the awareness campaigns, since we're under lockdown, we couldn't do those campaigns, so that's why we underspend.
So uthola ukuthi by end of the financial year leya budget amount yama awareness seyisele, and mayisele i-department izothi isebenziseni kwamanye ama items enwadingayo khona kwi-NPO.
So sometimes when that budget or that money is left, the department will say, use it in some other items, like in the items that you need in the NPOs.
Uthola ukuthi ke sinawo ama items ku NPO, in the meantime akukho esikudingayo ilokho esingavumelekile ukuthi sikwenze ngale mali.
Sometimes we do have
Mamela
the
askismam lalela ke uyabona lokho show up ngoba thina laba bala itafule singaba bafanayo nalaba bantu bathi kune underspending, and futhi singaba bantu bathi why overspending thina la itafule.
Because we, the members here in the table, we are one of those who would ask you, why did you underspend or why did you overspend?
Konje ke le budget yakho oyibeka la in front of us, ngikhalela ukuthi I wonder ukhe wayibeka phansi kunye nalaba bakufandayo, that is the department.
So the budget that you are talking about, have you spoke with the department about that budget that you're speaking to us about now?
Mara ke uza umphathi wabo uzawunika umuntu relevant ozawubonisa khombisa ukuthi kanti nifanele nenze njani. Because kaloku kwimali ka government, if le mali uyinikezwe ukuthi uthenge le phone, awukwazi ukuthenga le ncwadi. You must spend imali ngale ndlela oyabelwe ngayo. Maybe what is lacking kuni fanele nithunyelwe ki management sort of workshop, so that umuntu ohlangana nezincwadi abuye attend lo workshop and then asize ninake. I don't know whether managed by you is mali nayo yonke into nezincwadi. So uyabona nje kuno kushotanyana okuthize in terms of on how to budget, nokuthi nincitha kanjani nokuthi ni adjuste kanjani kwi budget yenu mani nezidingo. So bendingafuni ke ukuthi le meeting 1 o'clock already seshayile ne, and I thought by 1 o'clock sizabakhulula abantu, but seemingly sizabakhulula 2 o'clock ngoku. Promise ukuthi 2 o'clock bazawuphuma, because fanele sifumane impendulo, and wena ke masiphuma la uqondane ngqo no social worker o under le area yakho, uzokhona ukuthi nenze appointment nibonisana ukuthi uzayonisiza kanjani phala. How is that?
The leadership, they will tell you on what to do. Maybe you need workshops that will help you on how to deal with that matter, because when you get the budget from the government, when you have to buy a phone, you have to buy a phone. You can't use it to buy maybe papers or anything else. You have to use it according to what was stipulated to you. So after the meeting, you can meet with one of the social workers from your area. Maybe you can talk to them, and then they will advise you on what to do.
Yes, ngiyezwa futhi ngiyavuma lokho ngizokwenza, but ipoint lami exactly belilapha ekutheni ngicela sinikele le allowance ukuthi if ever for some reasons we can even write a letter ukuthi why le mali singayisebenziselanga for lokhu, and for that matter sicela ukuyisebenzisela lokho esikudingayo bekuyileyo requisition ebenginawo, but ngiyezwa ke ngizokwenza lokho.
I do understand what you told me. I will do as you said, but what I just want to ask is, can we be given an allowance that if the budget was stipulated that we should use it probably on something else, can we use it on another thing, probably on what we really need? We won't allow that.
If wahulumentu unikwe imali ye stadium, I'm making an example. Mara ekuhlaleni uyabona ukuthi kune shortage yezindlu. You can't go and build the houses, whilst you can see that a shortage of houses is necessary and needed. Unikezwe imali ye stadium. You have to go and build that stadium okanye recreation center. Kuhanjwa kanjalo. That's why ngithi lokhu ngeke silibazise laba bantu balapha. So wena hamba uhlale phansi naleli khosa kusi update nje ukuthi how far have you gone ne understanding on how to make lanto bathi budget adjustment ukuthi nenza kanjani and how do you plan forward for all what you are saying. Awunikezwe imali yokuthi udlisa abantwana uthi wena ngizothenga ibhaki because ndiyabona ukuthi we need a transport here for udeliverisha labantwana.
So with the government money,
No, ngiyabonga bekuyilokho ukuthi ucela ibuilding kuphela qha.
Us-update ke ukuthi uhamba kanjani bayakusiza offer yini ubhalisa ama numbers akho khona lapha. We really sympathize with you. There's a lot that you need. Mara kufanele kucwangciswe lokho.
Yebo ngiyabonga ithuba.
so you can go to them and then they will be able to help you, but we can't do it otherwise. You can come and tell us if they've helped you and inform us well.
Hayibo. Why yini ngamshayela izandla yena?
You can give her a round of applause.
Akakhulumanga ngalendlela benifuna ukuthi akhulume ngayo.
Didn't she speak in a way that you want her to speak?
Okay.
All right.
Siqedile ke manje ngama questions, ngama concern, ngama input. What I like is that uthe uya support ibill uhamba nayo nethi nje nanzi izidingo abanazo ke.
We are done with the question and the matter of the bill. What I like is that she said she supports the bill, so we are done with that matter now.
Can we then therefore sicele ke laba kwa social development bafole lapha yam mphathi wabo ungaba kuthiwa kuchayelela and then ubanikeze ke sinikeza wena over ngoku.
The leadership,
Izani
can you come
ngaphambili
with
bathu.
your colleagues from
Abantu
social
basebaqulusi banibone.
development?
Sanutsho
People from
nengcini.
Abaqulusi should see you. You can come and
And
queue up there so that you
banazi.
can answer, and they should know you.
Nizi introduce ke nama position enu.
You should introduce yourself and your position.
Thank you very much.
Siyabonga kakhulu.
If kunama numbers enifanele nibanike wona to contact you, nibanikeze bathu.
If there's-
Nathi ifone zethu zivulwa 24/7.
If you have numbers that you want to give to them, the numbers that they can contact a certain person to get the services that they need, you can do that, because we also do that. Our phones are operating 24/7.
Kanibabhalise after sicedile bethu nani bayasi.
Can you register them when we are done?
Kuqala bani? Qala uNdlunkulu.
Who
Qala
will
bani?
start? Will she start?
Sanbonani.
And thank you, Honorable Chair. Is it on?
Asikuzwa next kuzawufanele elolo likulu lodlulonke amaholo esike sahlangana ku. So you must raise your voice and uface lapha TV and usmile ume kahle.
We cannot hear anything at all. The hall is very big. We should be able to hear you. Please just raise your voice, face the camera and smile.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and good afternoon.
Ngibonga kakhulu sihlalo hloniphekile. Ngiyanibingelela.
My name is Matlogonolo Sibopela from National DSD.
Igama lami uLihlohonolo Sibopela ovela kwa DSD kuzwelonke.
Matlogonolo, many blessings, not just one.
Mahlohonolo izibusiso eziningi lezo hayi sisodwa nje kuphela.
Honorable Chair, we have the Head of Department, Provincial DSD, Ms. Nelisiwe Viliagasi, She'll be leading the DSD delegation in responding to the queries and questions. Thank you very much, Chair.
La
I'll
phakathi
add where
kwethu.
she requires me to add. Thank you.
Uyasidoja manje.
Lapha-
HOD unikeza wena ke.
La phakathi kwethu ke sinenhloko yomnyango yala isifundazweni unkosikazi Vilakazi uyena kuzosihola kulesikhathi sembuzo
Nasi isitulo
nempendulo.
mahlono nasiya bhekelisa nje for
There's a
social
chair there,
distancing.
you can just sit over there.
Siyakudinga la.
We need you.
Kubo ngqongqoshe mabayithobe. I-mic le ingathi phezulu
Oh,
kakhulu.
please lower the microphone for her.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, honorable members,
Malunga hloniphekile, sihlalo hloniphekile.
good afternoon.
Ngiyanibingelela.
My name is Nelly Siwe Vilakazi. I'm the head of department in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
Ngingunelisiwe Vilakazi, inhloko yomnyango la KwaZulu Natal.
Yes, in the Department of Social Development.
Emnyangweni
Awukaka
wokuthuthukisa
smile
umphakathi. You
Nelisi.
haven't smiled.
Sondela kancane emicini.
Thank you.
Yes.
Please come
Honorable-
closer to the mic.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Ngibabingelele kakhulu aba umphakathi wabuya la eZululand district.
Let me greet the community from Zululand district.
Thank you. We will be responding to the questions together with the management that we have here.
Imbuzo sizoyiphendula sonke manager esinazo la.
Mhlambe umbuzo wokuqala, I want to respond to Mr. Tungo.
The first question that I would like to respond to was asked by Mr. Tungo.
With regard to the ECD function shift from the Department of Education to from Department of Social Development to Department of Education.
Mayelana noshintsho ke ngokuqonde nama ECD kusuka lapha kwa emnyangweni wokuthuthukiswa komphakathi kuya emnyangweni wezemfundo.
Yes, the assurance that you want to give to the community and Mr. Tungo is the fact that the ECD function shift is a well organized process. There is going to be a smooth transition in terms of the shift of the function.
Esifuna ukuqinisekisa ngakho umphakathi naye umnumzana uThungo ukuthi uma kwenzeka lolu shintsho lwenzeka ngendlela eshelelayo lushintsho olusuke luhlelwe ngendlela ehleleke kahle.
There are institutional arrangements from provincial departments to the national department, and we do meet regularly both departments at a provincial level and also with the national departments from basic education and social development, and both MECs in the province and ministers at a national level. So that's why I'm saying it's a very well-managed process in terms of ECD function shift.
Kuneyinhlelo ke zokuqinisekisa ukuthi ke lolu shintsho lenzeka ngendlela eshelelayo ehlelwe kahle. Inhlelo ezibekiwe ikhona isebenzayo esifundazweni nakuzwelonke. Uma ke kwenziwa lokho kusuke kuhlanganiswe zonke lezi inhlaka uqinisekisa ukuthi yonke into ihamba kahle. Ngisho nabaphathiswa okuyibona ababhekelele leminyango, umnyango wezemfundo nomnyango wokuthuthukiswa komphakathi.
We know that in terms of the expectations by Department of Education, based on what Mr. Tungo said, you will find that maybe the ACD practitioners might not have the required profession or qualifications, but the Department of Education is going to take them as is. So that's the assurance that you are giving.
Siyazi ke ukuthi ke umphakathi ulindele ukuthi ke njengoba eshilo umnumzana uThungo ukuthi kulindeleke ukuthi labantu abafundisa lapha einkulisa nabo babe neziqu abagogode kuzo Kodwa ke sifuna ukuthi ke wonke umuntu azi la ukuthi ke department manje umnyango subamukela uzobamukela benjalo labantu laba.
Yes, thank you very much. So there is continuous consultation. We do have a seminar in December where different forums responsible for ECD will meet with both MECs in the province. So it's a long process in terms of responding, but the matter is well managed. That's the assurance that I wanted to give Mr. Tungo and the team as far as ECD function shift is concerned.
Kodwa ke akupheli lapho ingxoxo zisaqhubeka. Bheka njengoba ngoDisemba kukhona isemina umhlangano ozoba khona la kusaqhutshekwa khona nezingxoxo eziphathelene nalolu hlelo. Qinisekisa ukuthi yonke into ihamba kahle. Manje nje ngiqinisekisa kumnumzana uThungo ukuthi hayi konke kubhekiwe futhi konke kusingathwa ngendlela ekahle kakhulu.
Thank you. In closing, I can indicate that we do have work streams that are responsible for HR, for finance, for infrastructure, and also for even communication. In those work streams, for example, in terms of the finances, we have already ring-fenced the budget that will follow the shift to the Department of Education. We have already identified social workers that were responsible for ECD coordination that will move to the Department of Education. And we have also identified even the conditional grant in terms of infrastructure that will follow the function. So that's why I'm saying that it is a well-managed process, and we were supported a great deal by national departments, basic education and DSD. That's why we account regularly.
Uhlelo olukahle kakhulu lolu futhi lwesekwa kahle kakhulu umnyango kazwelonke wezemfundo nokuthuthukiswa komphakathi. Yabona kulolu hlelo kwenza ukuthi ngithi yonke into inakekelwa futhi ihlelwe kahle. Sineyinhlaka eziqondene nondaba zabantu, ezezimali, ingqala sizinda, konke nje kubhekwe kahle. Bheka nje ngoba kunanosonhlala kahle abazothuthwa nabo bafakwe lapha eminyangweni wezemfundo abebelokhu besebenza nawo ECD lo kusukela kudala kakhulu. Ngakho ke uma sithi uhlelo lihlelwe kahle lolu siqinisile ngempela siyaniqinisekisa.
Thank you very much. With regard to the Ucebile Mhlongo, I think the Honorable Chair assisted us in responding to her, but we'll get closer to her and support her in terms of the funding, because he's worried about infrastructure and so on. So
mayelana ke noCebile Mhlongo sizoke sisondele eduze lapha kuyena ukuze simsize uphakamise inkinga eyithinta uxhaso lwezimali ingqala sizinda. Kodwa ke usihlalo hayi uthe ukusisiza lapha ekumphenduleni, kodwa nathi sizosondela eduze kwakhe ukuze simsize.
Thank you very much. I think what is also important, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, Nomphakathi, is the fact that if you are registered as a non-profit organization, so you do have a legal status that assists you to actually raise funds, because you may find that as you prepare your business plan, you want 500,000, but only to find that with regard to the resources we have, we can only fund 100,000. Then that says you need to actually raise this other funding so that you are able to do whatever you want to do as a non-profit organization. That's why when we sign a service level agreement, the deliverables are very clear. What is it that is expected out of what we have funded you? That's why you can't then use that amount for something else, but you can raise funds to do that.
Okunye ke ebesifisa ukuveza lana sihlalo ohloniphekile namalungu eParliament ahloniphekile nani imphakathi ukuthi uma uyinhlangano engayenzi inzuzo nawe uyaqashelwa ngokomthetho manje lokho kwenza ukuthi ke kube ukuthi uyakwazi ukuthi uthole uxhaso uma ulidinga. Kodwa ke ngezinye izikhathi kungase kutholakala ukuthi udinga wena 500,000 kodwa bese kuthi hayi angeke ukwazi ukuthola 500,000, imali ongakwazi ukuyithola nje engango 100,000. Ilokho ke nje sithi ke make sikuveze lana.
Thank you very much. With regard to Thokozile Buthelezi, there is a colleague of mine who is going to respond to her. Nale yokukhuphula ke amasokisi, sikwazi ukuthi sisondele closer to her. But I need to point out this one, Honorable Chair, honorable members. You see the challenge we have now, like Thokozile was saying, there is a 12-year-old who was found to never been to school. So you find that as social development, you would not know the children that are not going to school, that are disabled and so on. So I think we need to work together and see how best to support one another in order to ensure that if you have a disabled child, how do we support you as social development in terms of psychosocial support and even accepting this child, because some you find that they have challenges even in terms of accepting the child. So our experience is that once you have a special child, you go to SASSA, you get a grant, and then you find there is nothing that compels you to go to DST. Whereas long time ago, Chairperson, if I may declare, I'm a social worker by profession, by the way. At some point, long time ago, the child with disability, they used to get a grant that was known as single care grant. So before you get that grant, you would go to a social worker for a report. Then the social worker will then assess you, visit you, provide all the necessary support. By the time you get the grant, you are supported. So now you find that you have a medical report, you go to SASSA, you get a grant. We don't know about you. So I think there is a way that will assist us to work together. I'm saying that you'll find that there's a lot of intervention that social workers can make if we knew or if we know about those children with disabilities. Just to share with you for a second, Chairperson, honorable members, so from experience, during my time when I was a social worker, when this process was your social worker, you have to be involved. You find that I identified parents who were struggling and caregivers with disabled children that were mentally disabled. Then one started a support group, and then the parents, they ended up loving their children. Children accessed some services. And we end up having a daycare center. That daycare center, as we speak today, it developed into a special school for that particular community. So you find that if we know about it, we can intervene earlier and then support the communities accordingly.
Kanti ke naso dabeni ke likaThokozile ukhona komunye sisebenza naye la eminyangweni uzophendula lapha noThokozile uze wakhuluma nangendaba ukuthi ke umnyango ake uthi ukukhuphula amasokisi. Uyazi sihlalo ohloniphekile enye into yake ekiyenzeke uyayuthola ukuthi yebo ngoba ukhulume ngengane eneminyaka ewu12 ukuthi lengane ihlele ekhaya akaziye ngisho esikoleni futhi ikhubazekile. Yebo kungenzeka ukuthi lokho kunjalo kuyiqiniso, kodwa bese uthola ukuthi umnyango wezokuthuthukiswa komphakathi awazi ngalokho. Sithi ke kungakuhle ukuqinisekiswe ukuthi ke umnyango uyazi ngezinto ezinjalo. Okunye nje ngithanda ukukuveza ke ukuthi nami ke ngingomunye wosonhlala kahle ke umsebenzi wami lo engafunda ngagogoda kuona, ngakho ngiyazi ukuthi ke osonhlala kahle banomsebenzi omningi abawenzayo lapha emphakathini, bayakwazi ukusiza. Uyazi nje kwakukhona imali yesibonelelo ngaphambilini eyayibizwa nge-single hair grant. Leyo mali leyo wawuthi uma ususifakile isicelo sokuyithola khona ungakayitholi uthola ukuthi khona ukwesekwa olukuthola la kosonhlala kahle. Osonhlala kahle kuningi abangakwenza ukuze basize la emphakathini, kodwa kufanele baziswe ngalezi zinto.
Thank you very much. I will ask my colleague to come, Miss Lutuli.
Ngizocela ke unkosazana Luthuli ke eze ngaphambili ke esisebenza naye.
All right, HOT, are you sure that koyinye into ongayiphendula bendithi hlala lapha?
HOT,
Siyabonga.
are you sure
uzamile
that there's
ukuzicover
nothing
lezi
that you should answer? Maybe you can just sit there where you were seated.
Afternoon, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members.
Ngibingelele bonke usihlalo nabahloniphekile
Kanye nomphakathi wonke okhona kanjalo nama colleagues that are here.
and
with
the
us.
whole community, including my colleagues who are with us.
My name is Fezile Lutuli.
Igama lami ngiuFezile Luthuli.
I'm the Chief Director for Social Welfare Services in the department
Umqondisi jikelele wezenhlalokahle
based at the provincial office.
ehhovisi lesifunda.
I'm going to answer some of the questions that were asked, and then I will give an opportunity to my other colleagues.
Ngizophendula imibuzo eyabuzwa bese nginikeza ozakwethu ithuba lokuthi nabo bake baphendule eminye yaleyo mibuzo.
Let me start with the one-year master list, probably explain ukuthi what is the master list. The master list is just a simple tool that we use to manage our finances in the province. It's just a database of all the NPOs that we are funding.
Ake
where we-
ngiqale ngohlu lwe-master list. I-master list uhlelo silwenzayo lokuthi sikwazi ukusekela abantu, uhlelo olulapha kwi-database esilisebenzisayo.
It assists us, as we plan in terms of the organizations that we are going to be funding in the following financial year. We list them and then we indicate the amounts that we are going to be funding them with based on the
Lusiza
available
ukuthi
resources.
sikwazi ukuthi sihlele ukuthi isabelo mali esizosithola lezo izikhungo noma lezo indawo sikwazi ukuthi sibasekele ngamalini ngonyaka wesabelo mali esizobe sikuso ngaleso sikhathi.
And these allocations will then be captured in the bus system. We came up with this tool because we're trying to respond to some of the audit queries where an indication was that, what is captured in the system is not, what is in the SLAs that the district would have signed with the different organizations. So that's why.
Siyesaba nalolu hlelo ukuze sikwazi ukuthi silungise inselele ebekade zikhona nezikhalazo abantu abade benazo lokuthi singakwazi kanjani ukuthi sisekele ingakho siyesaba nalolu hlelo.
So the issue around, not funding all the children that are in the ECDs, basically with regards to this one, to that one, it's the fact that we are affected by budget cuts. Over the past 3 years, our budget is being cut on annual basis. And,
Mayelana nokusekelwa kwezimali into enza ukuthi ngezinye izikhathi singakwazi ukuthi sisekele ngokugcwele ingoba isabelo mali sethu esiyaye sinikezwe sona siyaye sincishiswe ngezinye izikhathi.
So that's the reason why we can't fund, everything as HOD indicated that the organization would indicate in their request for funding, which is a
Ingakho
business plan.
ngezinye izikhathi singakwazi ukuthi sisekele bonke abantu ngenxa yokuthi isabelo mali sisuke sincishisiwe ngaleso sikhathi.
In the process of ECD function shifts in the engagements that we're having with the Department of Education, we have highlighted this challenge. And I know for sure that they will be also trying to engage Treasury in terms of seeing, if they can't look at this matter so that we ensure that all children that require funding are accommodated. as such.
Mayelana nama ECD siyesa bhekisisa ukuthi sakhulumisana nomnyango nomgcinimafa ukuze siqinisekise ukuthi singakwazi ukuthi sisombulule yini lengqinamba esiyaye sibe nayo yokungakwazi ukuthi sisekele ngokugcwele ngeimali.
The next one is the one that speaks to fast tracking of foster care placements, where there was an indication that there are insufficient resources like vehicles. In responding to that,
udaba mayelana nokuthuthukiswa kweindawo zokuhlaliswa kweingane ezingenazo abazali ukuthi lolo hlelo luphuthunyiswe nalo sikhuluma ngalo.
what we have done as a department, we have, because there are pocket of areas in this province where car hijacking is quite prominent, where our social workers, have been hijacked and at gunpoint. And this matter has been elevated to a provincial cabinet. And
Lokhu
it's-
kuyaye kwenzeka ukuthi abantu baqolwe noma bathathelwe izinto zabo. Lokhu kuye kwakhulunywa ngakho eminyangweni wesifunda la siye sakhulumisana mayelana naludaba lokuthi abantu baqolwe izinto.
Because it's a matter that your DSD cannot manage, on its own. It involves the police
Ngoba
and other departments concerned, particularly in the security cluster.
Ngoba lolu udaba olungeke lukwazi ukuthi lulungiswe uDSD eyedwa luhilela amaphoyisa ingakho kumele sikhulumisane nabanye abantu.
Kodwa, what we have done is that we are now trying to encourage our officials or our social workers to use their private vehicles, and then they get paid for that. We call it Scheme B.
Futhi siyesa khuthaza ikakhulukazi onhlalonhle ukuthi bake basize kulolu hlelo
By using their own vehicles, and then they get paid for those kilometers. that
ngokuthi
they-
basebenzise inqola zabo emva kwalokho sizobakhokhela amakhilometha abaye bawahamba ngenxa yokusiza ngalokho.
Another intervention, we are busy working on getting hired vehicles, because we can see that the government vehicles probably are targeted because they have logos, and their registration, reflect that it's a government vehicle. Because we have noticed that for
Okunye
people that use
futhi
their own
ukuthi
vehicles,
imoto zikahulumeni ziyaye zibe sengozini yokuthi ziqolwe ngenxa yokuthi ziphawuliwe ukuthi ezikahulumeni. Ngakho okunye futhi esizama ukuthi sikulungise esikwenzayo ukuthi sibe nezimoto esiziqhashayo esizisebenzisayo ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sibhekane nalokho.
the third point also in fast tracking the foster care placement is that we have an intersectoral child care protection, where we have other departments like Home Affairs, Department of Education, Department of Health,
Kwezinye inhlelo futhi ila sizama khona ukuthi sisebenze nomnyango wezasekhaya, umnyango wezempilo ukuze sikwazi ukuthi silungise lokho.
because some of these delays, you may find that the social worker has done what she's expected to do, but probably the delays are with the court in that particular area. So
Okunye-
in those forums, we address these
Okunye
issues.
ukusilela okuyaye kube khona kuyaye kube ukuthi onhlalonhle abazi kusenesikhathi mhlambe izinkantolo ezisilalisa ukuthi izinto zingenziwa kusenethuba.
So these forums also help us in terms of, attending to those issues that other department must also come into play in addressing.
La maforum kuyasiza ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sibhekane nalezi ingqinamba kanye neminye iminyango ekwazi ukuthi isekele kuloko.
The other point around the special schools that has been raised, probably by the colleague from the Department of Education, we just want to indicate that probably this will elevate to the Department of Education at a provincial level.
Okunye futhi okukhulunywe ngakho mayelana nezikole ezikhethekile noma izikole zabantu abaphila nokukhubazeka. Mhlambe lokho kungamele sikudlulisele kumnyango kazwelonke okuyiwona ongakwazi ukuthi usize kulokho.
The other point on children with disabilities, there was an indication that, they would be taken for a function, and when they are returned back, they are set and all that stuff. What we encourage is that we don't create centers for children with disability, but we try and mainstream the disabilities in the very centers that we have where children without disabilities attend
Okunye
as
futhi
well.
okukhulunywe ngakho udaba lokuthi izingane eziphila nokukhubazeka ngezinye izikhathi uma ihanjiswa ziyojatshuliswa uma sekumele ibuyiselwe emakhaya ziyaye zingathanda ukuthi ibuyiselwe lapho esikwenzayo ukuthi singabi nezikhungo ezikhethekile la sizoyibeka khona kodwa kunalokho sisize zisemphakathini.
So what we are doing, especially with the help of the conditional grant, ECD conditional grant, with the infrastructure, portion, we ensure that as they assist these ECDs in terms of their infrastructure, they make sure that their sites are also accessible for children with
Mayelana
disabilities.
nokusiza ngengqalasizinda esesikwenza uqinisekisa ukuthi uma sakha izikhungo zalezi ingane izikhungo ezikwazi ukuthi le ingane zikwazi ukuyisebenzisa kalula.
Probably the last one, and then I give a chance to my colleagues, would be to encourage people of Abaqulusi ukuthi in this province we are implementing the DDM model, and we have war rooms in each and every ward. And our social workers in this province have been allocated per ward. So in each and every ward, there's a social worker responsible for that ward.
Engathanda ukuthi ngikhuthaza umphakathi waseBaqulusini ukuthi indawo ngayinye kwiward ngayinye sinabantu abasebenza lapho abasizayo ngokukhethekile. Angizange ngigcine.
And each and every social worker is allocated a ward. So there's a ward for every social worker in this province.
Unhlalonhle ngamunye uba newodi lakhe abhekene nalo ngakho kuba nonhlalonhle oyedwa iwodi ngalinye ozosiza labo bantu.
In cases where, wards are vast, we allocate 2 or 3 social workers.
Uma sinamawodi amakhulu siyaye sibe nonhlalonhle mhlambe ababili noma abathathu.
Would like to encourage the communities that, these cases, they are also presented in those war rooms so that, we don't wait until Parliament comes down. But some of these matters, if they are presented there, because social workers are there, they attend these war rooms and officials from other departments. So it becomes easy to manage these matters. Thank you very much.
Sikhuthaza umphakathi ukuthi uze kulezi indawo ukhulumisane nalabo nhlalonhle abakhona emphakathini yabo bangalindi kuze kube yilapha iParliament liza kubantu bese beveza izikhalazo zabo ngoba sikhona ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sibasize la sikhona kulezo ikhungo esikuzo.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you very much.
Uyabona ke ngqongqoshe uyabonakala ukuthi HOD there is a need ye sort of a summit or whatever you call it ye ECDs.
This shows that there is a need of a summit in order to discuss these ECDs.
Angifunanga nje kumnqamula phakathi ngoba le information labantu bahleli apha bayayidinga maru uyayibona ukuthi introduce nje i-topic and then angene mara angangeni deep ngenxa yesikhathi.
I didn't want to interject during the presentation because I didn't want to disturb you.
Iyadingeka ukuthi bahlanganiswe in one place whether you cluster them or whatever and then kuhlalelwe phansi lezi zinto bangathi abaziqondi kahle though izawuhamba iye kwi-Department of Education kodwa ngathi bangaya khona sebe ready be right ezinye izinto nje sizisusile abantu bakwa Social Development Department.
You need to conduct a meeting with the community so that these things are explained and people are made to understand. Then these issues can be moved to whatever department that they ought to be moved to, whether it's Department of Education or Social Development.
Thank you very much, Chief Director.
Sibonga
Sinikeze
kakhulu.
kuwe mina.
Sibonga kakhulu ke mqondisi omkhulu. Sinuka wena ke sisithuba manje.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair and honorable members. members of the community, stakeholders who are here, good afternoon.
Sanibona nonke malungu ahloniphekile, sihlalo ohloniphekile, mphakathi nabo bonke abanye bakhona. Ngiyanibingelela ntambama namhlanje.
My name is Buisiwe Sopazi. I'm a director responsible for children in the Department of Social Development Head Office.
Ngingubuyisiwe Sophazi, umqondisi lapha emnyangweni osebenza ngeingane esifundazweni.
I am going to respond on the challenge of the infrastructure.
Ngizokhuluma ngenkinga, ngizophendula ngokuqondene nenkinga yengqalasizinda.
Regarding the ECD centers, that Department of Social Development is not responsible for infrastructure of ECD centers, but the municipality is. But
Umnyango wezokuthuthukiswa komphakathi ke akuwona umsebenzi wawo ukubhekelela ingqalasizinda yokwakhiwa kwama-ECD, kodwa umnyango obhekelela lokho uthe imuphi konje wesisi.
But the department, as a form of intervention, we strengthen the non-center-based ECD programs.
Kodwa ke kukhona kolunye usizo ke esingasiza ngalo libizwa nge-non-ECD programs,
whereby children can be grouped together and the organization be assisted with registration so that they can have access to ECD services, even if they are having those services within a private residence.
lapho ke ingane ingahlanganiswa ndawonye zibhaliswe bese ke ikwazi ukungena lapha ke kuma ECD.
One of the non-center-based ECD programs that we have rolled out within the province is the mobile ECD centers. Currently, the province has got 3 mobile trucks operating in 3 district municipalities as part of addressing the issue of infrastructure.
Olunye nje uhlelo olunjalo ilolwamaloli angomahamba nendlwana, amaloli angama ECD. Uyawathola lamaloli kuwonke kuzo zonke izifunda ezintathu zala kwaZulu Natal.
Another intervention for
Imake kancane nje. Ndicela abantu bangalali bethuna bazawuphuma eTV belele. Sesizawugqiba.
Please do not sleep.
Uzowesitulweni.
Do not sleep. You are live on television. We are about to disperse now. Just be patient.
Siyabona ukuthi kuyabanda and kwenza ukuthi ulale kamnandana. So
we realize it's cold and you can't sleep nicely, but please bear with us.
Another intervention by the department is the implementation of the ECD conditional grant infrastructure component, where we are supporting the conditionally registered ECD centers with a maximum of 250,000 each so that they can address infrastructural issues like broken windows, carpets, floors, and minor electrical faults.
Hlelo esinalo iloliyalo lwe-conditional grant lapho ke sihlinzeka khona ama-ECD ngesamba semali esingaba ngo-250,000 ukuze akwazi ukunakekela ingqalasizinda yawo njengamafastela, okhaphethe, izinto ezifana nalezo.
Le 250 ayisiyo yokwakha mne. No, yo renovator or ukulungisa izinto ezithile.
So that the ECD centers, because they are conditionally registered, so that they can graduate from conditional registration to full registration status.
Lezi ke
So kumshile kakhulu ke manje sesingakuzwa kahle. Uyabona ukuthi ifuna ilanga lodwa lento. Thina sifuna ukuthi sisakhelwe indonga uzwile musi. Bafuna amabhilidi apha bathi bayashoteka. Uyabona nje.
You have lost us. What we want is structures that are being built and erected. You have completely lost us now.
No.
Okay,
that is why
dlula
we-
ke kan- dlula ke
Okay.
sis.
The another question was regarding the support of unregistered ECD centers that we do support. They must come forward. We had a campaign that we called Bangasali, and wonke ECD center engekho registered fanele ihambe iye kwi office la social development eliseduze, and we do have some educational and stimulation equipment that we give to the unregistered ECD centers.
Olunye uhlelo esinalo sizwile ukuthi kukhona umbuzo othintiwe la obukhuluma ngokwesekwa kwama ECD angabhalisiwe. Siyaweseka lawo ma ECD anjalo, kukhona uhlelo esilisebenzisayo ukuze siweseke olubizwa ngokuthi ibangasali, uhlelo ibangasali. Uvele
Mamela
nje
ke.
uye lapha emnyangweni wokuthuthukiswa komphakathi oseduze bana namathuluzi laphana okufundisa abanabo okuhlinzeka ngawo.
Bacela ukuncediswa in terms of registration nokuregister.
They need assistance in terms of registration.
Futhi ke bacela ukuthi nitholakale ema-ofisini.
And they also,
Bangafiki kubekwa amabhaji esitulweni namajezi.
they
Ningatholakali.
they also want you to be available in your offices to assist them. They don't want to get there and find your jackets hanging on chairs there.
Okay, no, we are available. The another one was regarding the child heading households. That is in, we do have a program. The organizations, because they are eyes and ears, they must bring the databases of those child-headed households so that the social workers can go and visit and assess so that children can receive the statutory intervention.
Sizwile ke nangale nkinga yemizi othola ukuthi iholwa izingane izona zinjengabazali kule mizi. Uma kuukuthi wazi umzonjalo ngoba sizwile ukuthi kunamalungu omphakathi anjengamehlo nezindlebe zomnyango la emphakathini. Uma kunezingane ezinjalo imizi enjalo sicela nize ngaphambili nibike lapha emnyangweni wekuthuthukiswa komphakathi.
Another question was the fact that the funding for the ECD centers is intended for food only.
Naleli iphuzu ke livelile lokuthi uma kuxhaswa ama ECDs khongoza ama ECD leyo mali eyokudla kuphela.
That is not correct. We are funding 17 rand per child, and that 17 rand is divided into 40% that must go to food, 40% that must assist with the payment of stipend, and 20% that must procure the educational material and stimulation equipment.
Akulona iqiniso ke lokho ke ukuthi ke imali ehlinzekwayo eyokudla kuphela. Sikhokha u17 rand ngengane yodwa. Kulo 17 rand u40% waleyo mali owokudla, u40% owale mali eyisibonelelo lebizwa ngestipend. Bese ke u20% ke owamathuluzi ke asetshenziswa ke kufundeni ke.
And also, we are hoping that the ECD centers were able to buy the educational material in the previous financial year because during COVID, the department resolved to fully fund the ECD centers irrespective of their opening or closing status. And we are hoping that they use the 20% because all children were at home.
Siyathemba ukuthi imali ke ehlinzekwayo kuze kuthengwe izinto amathuluzi okufunda nokufundisa asetshenziswe kahle ngoba phakathi nenkathi yeCovid umnyango wakhipha imali futhi ke sicabanga ukuthi ke kusebenze 20% lapho ngoba phela izingane vele bezisemakhaya ngoba umnyango uqhamuke nohlelo lokuthi uvela uxhase ngokugcwele ngokuqondene naloko kuthiwa educational equipment, amathuluzi okufundisa ukufunda.
Lastly, I would like to urge all the ECD centers that applied for the ECD, for the presidential ECD relief stimulus package to go to the nearest social development. We are not getting ECD centers that applied, and the money, we are not spending the money. They must come forward so that we assist, so that we pay all those who applied. Thank you.
Sicela ukuthi ke lawo ma ECD lawo angakasifaki isicelo sale mali ebizwa nge-ECD relief package le yokusiza ikhungo lezi ke zeinkulisa. Uma ungakasifaki isicelo saleyo mali, sifake leso sicelo ngoba uhulumeni uyihlinzekile leyo mali manje, ilinde ukuthi abantu bayicele ngoba uma bengakayiceli iyoloku ihleli nje iduvile.
All right. Sihleba lenkulumo niyikhuluma yapha ezala enye intetho. It's fine. Thank you very much. Angisazi ukuthi intoni iposition yakho ukuthi intoni.
You said your position is?
Director, okay.
Ngumqondisi.
Izikhulu zodwa unyanisile uHOD ukuthi uhamba nemanagement yonke. Entourage.
The HOD was telling the truth when she said she's got all the management staff.
Siseza ukhuluma nathi singama members of parliament.
You can continue.
Benthe 2:00 siyaphuma la. And I can see that in 5 minutes. I wonder.
I said we will adjourn at 2:00. We only have 5 minutes to continue. You can continue.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair and
Ngiyab-
Honorable
Ngiyakubingelela sihlalo ohloniphekile
and committee members and stakeholders that are here, as well as colleagues.
namalungu omphakathi akhona nabo bonke abanye bakhona nalabo esisebenza nabo. Ngiyanibingelela nonke.
My name is Sindisiwe Mfeka. I'm the District Director for the Department of Social Development here in Zululand District.
Ngingusindisiwe Mfeka khona la esifundeni saKwaZulu ngingumqondisi.
I'm responding on the issue that was raised by Thokozile Telezi, where she indicated that we need to pull up our socks and indicated that there is a child that is crawling and cannot walk. And that child, we know the case as Department of Social Development. The case was referred to us in September 2021, and it was allocated to Mrs. Kosi, our social worker, who then investigated, visited the family, investigated the matter, and assessed the case holistically, looking at the needs of the child and the needs of the family at large.
Ake ngiphendule ngokuqondene ke nodaba olwethule umama uThokozile Buthelezi okhulume ngengane neminyaka engu-12 ekhubazekile engafundi egaqayo. Lolo daba siyazi ngalo lwafika kuthina lwabikwa sabe sesilwabela ke unkosazana Nkosi ongusonhlala kahle ukuthi alilandelelela phenye. Hayi waphenya ngokugcwele ebheka ukuthi yini edingekayo la idingo zengane zimi kanjani sonke leso simo leso.
In summary, the findings of this case, it was found that this case, the child is attending the medical care. The child is attending at Amajuba district in one of the hospitals.
Kwatholakala ke ukuthi ke ingane ke yanakekelwa lapha ngokwezempilo eMajuba district.
Financially, this child is receiving disability grant to the tune of 1,800.
Kanti futhi ke iyayithola ke nemali isibonelelo engu 1,800 yabaphila nokukhubazeka.
In terms of educational aspect, this child was at a daycare center and dropped out of the center because of social problems at home.
Ngokuqondene nemfundo ke lengane yayifunda lapha enkolisa kodwa ke yasishiya ngenxa yeinkinga zasekhaya.
In terms of the social problems, the social worker managed to identify the critical issues, which he managed to develop plans and programs that the family is currently undertaking and part of that program.
Kuneyinhlelo ke zenziwe ke ezokwenza ukuthi ke lo mntwana anakekeleke kahle futhi ke umndeni ukuzo lezo nhlelo usonhlala kahle ukuhlelile lokho ukuthi kwenzeke.
The future of this child in terms of educational needs, the child is going to be back at the daycare center in January when the schools reopened.
Futhi ke ikole seyivula ngoJanuary lo isiyakiyena lo mntwana uzobuyela lapha ya enkulisa aqhubeke nokufunda.
I think.
Okay. Thank you very much, Director. Let me stand up.
Sibonga kakhulu ke mqondisi.
Thank you ever so much for everyone. But
Sibonga nonke.
I think really HOD, you can witness with us ukuthi kubalulekile ukuthi sidilishane nayo yonke lento yakwa ICT. We are not done. So sifuna HOD uyiqedelele kahle le ndaba uyisonge kahle. Uzobona wena ukuthi uzokwenza njani. You can also get umahlonono lo azokuncedisa or whoever from the head office. Inkinga manje sekufanele ndinganikezi even amalungu ukuthi akhulume. I am informed ukuthi kunabantu ababe la since 1 o'clock, suppose bangeni lapha eholweni for inauguration ye councillors. We were never told about that. This is really an embarrassment yokuthi sithi sazi ukuthi fanele siphumile eholweni sihlale thina. So it is unfortunate ukuthi amalungu la angeke niwave ekhuluma ehlomla. Kodwa we are happy because all the managers, including the HOD, baphendule kahle the way that we think. That's what we expect in all districts. At least umuntu aphathiswe into that he or she knows about it. Anga generalize athethe nje ezinhlokweni. Angazi ukuthi uthetha ntoni. Nani ndicinga ukuthi umphakathi at least uzwile. Kodwa it's not closed. Situation yokuthi you can't interact namalungu mayephuma apha. Nibanikeza ama addresses nama telephone numbers, even ama social workers niye ngqo kuwo so that issues ezi-direct bakwazi ukuthi bazisolve. Nisi update because numbers zethu zikwi-public azifihlakalanga and tell us ukuthi izinto azihambi kahle even if benila. Kodwa ke sithembile ukuthi konke kuzawubonakala ukuthi kuhamba kanjani. Ibhili sizwile ukuthi la Abaqulusi niyayisupporta nje ukuthi ninezi zinto zize challenge. Ngako oko I want to thank everyone for your time, your everything, your effort. Nizela nazo umamela le bhili nazo hambisana naye nasibonisa ukuthi sisifakele lephi sihlom lephi njalo njalo. Ndicela ke ngoku sime ngenyawo sizokhona ukuvala a volunteer from la emphakathini elizawusivalela ngofefe lize la emayikhini. Noba nguwe baba oqala ukuthetha emayikhini ungeza. Baba ngathi awusakho kule nto nje. Baba oqala ukuthetha emayikhini usowuthetha for the second time akakhulu usibulele usivalele ngeprayer. Nangu madoda Ndifuna ugqibelele ukuthetha emayikini namhlanje. Yeah, yenza nje i-benediction.
Eyangibamba ke lentokazi yomXhosa namhlanje.
Yey.
Noma
Ubambe ngempela.
noma ngilele nje yangivusa nje isulele.
Yeah, vukani manilele.
Okay.
Asanga zolala la.
Sibonge kakhulu. Sokucela sivalele ngomthandazo noma ngaqalanga nje ukuthandaza ngibathandaza. Namhlanje
Hey
akunangxaki.
madoda. No man. How sicimele ngoku. Silalele wena.
Siyabonga Nkosi ngokuhlala nathi kule ndlu wasilondoloza sakwazi ukuzwana sicela indlela sihambeni ngeendawo ezihlukahlukene sifike emakhaya igama la Jesu Kristu amen.
Amen. Ithani amen endlini bethu na. Awumshayeleni izandla uyakhuluma. The meeting has adjourned. Ivali umhlangano.